2 hours before we left.
I remember there was a time when we was kings and queens, prophets and rulers, judging the earth. But now we stuck at the bottom of the totem pole. Where did we go wrong as a people? I think our people need to understand this with a wake-up call and give them understanding on what's going on. So bring it.
Looking in the mirror, it gets clearer, cause we don't understand our own shelf, cause everybody wanna be a king, selling out they soul. This mean green cream thing, paper for some soldiers, but every second that I look, we getting cream like Folgers. You see, the Lord done told us.
Shalom, brothers and sisters.
Shalom.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. We're here live at Houston, Texas, 8524 South Braeswood, 77071. Our class days are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday and Wednesdays from 7 to 10. Fridays from 6 to 9. And Saturday morning Sabbath classes are held at 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. All right, if you're in the Houston metropolitan area, please feel free, drop on by. More the merrier. So, we also HBK located here in the San Antonio area. The address out there is 4219 Centergate Street, 501 Copper Avenue, Northwest, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 8710. All right. A couple of announcements that we have going on is the class, Sabbath morning, or Sabbath Sunday class, I'm sorry, kids class will be beginning back in September, all right, and that is on Sundays from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., all right. If you want to check out any previous classes or live classes, you can do so on YouTube at ISBHBK, all right, and every Saturday we have our cable show, and that's from 8:30 to 9:30, and that's on Comcast, channel 17, or you can stream live on hmstv.org. All right, if you have any questions pertaining to the topic, off the topic, outside of class, you can do so. You can text, it's a text-only number, but you can do so at Priest Kazaki, which is 281-707-2737, or Priest Thahawam Mayum, which is 832-941-2443, or you can reach Priest Quatzazak at
303-557-8979.
Or you can text my number, or I'm a 1, which is 281-871-9393. Or you can email us any of your questions or concerns at isbhbk@gmail.com. All right. If you want any type of garment wear, or your shirts fringed or your pants fringed, you can check us out. Check out our site on Facebook. It's under Israel Wear. All right, sisters put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into the garments and the garments that you see us wearing. So it's top of the line, good stuff, good quality. All right. If you have any monetary donations that you want to give, you can do so under at Wells Fargo. The account number is 10158066167, or you can Google Wallet at isbhbk@gmail.com. And we also want to give those brothers and sisters that have donated monetary, as well as books, pens, papers, pencils, and supplies. We want to thank you for that, and continue to do so as well. All right. So what we're going to do right now is let everybody log in, like, share, subscribe, and we're going to open up the first hour of questions. All right.
Yeah. And before we do that, we just want to let y'all know. Y'all know what's been going on in Houston. Everyone sees it, the flood. And, by the grace of the Most High, we all, as far as this camp, no one got flooded, no one got injured, no one was left without what they needed. Con? So, we really got to look at what, and we're going to go into it with this class, but we really got to look at what the Most High is doing and what he's forcing us to come together. I don't need a camp, cats, I don't need a school. You're going to be forced to come together, or you're going to get ate up. A lot of those people out there got ate up by this water. Their houses, their possessions. got ate up, and they had nowhere to go but to a shelter. And guess what? Shelters are flooded, right?
Yeah.
So we really got to thank the Most High and really see, man. I mean, bruh, I was sitting in my house. Nothing got flooded by me. Nothing. I mean, I was amazed, but then I wasn't, because I already knew that the Most High was going to protect us, and He did. So, you know, we definitely want to thank the Most High for that. And you know, as far as like donations and things like that, whatever y'all can give, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people out here that's hurting and without. So if y'all can mail in whatever you can mail in, we don't care. That way we can get it out to some of these people. You know, we definitely want to try to do our part. You know, the Most High took care of us, so we definitely got to make sure that we do our part to help. Right? Scripture say, you know, you see your brother naked and destitute, you don't just give him a good prayer and send him on his way. You don't do the Joel Osteen. You know what I'm saying? That's what Joel Osteen tried to do. Everybody was out there hurting, getting flooded, naked, hungry, and he was like, "We're gonna pray for you." But that don't help. When your brother is in need and you got it, you're supposed to give it. So, you know, obviously we're gonna try to get together whatever we can, but we're gonna ask that whatever y'all can give, send it to the school. That way we can get it out to some of these people. So, yeah, we'll let y'all get up. We'll let y'all get logged in and do all that fun stuff. And what you got?
Grab me. Proverbs chapter 3 verse 27.
Yeah, we'll hit this while y'all log in and get the link out and everything.
Proverbs chapter 3 verse 27.
Give me a count when you get it.
John.
John, go ahead.
Withhold not good from them to whom it is due.
So you don't want to withhold, especially if it's in your power. You always want to make sure you're giving, because the scripture says freely given, freely received. The Most High is going to take care of you regardless. So you always want to make sure you're taking care of the Most High's people as well. Right? Go ahead.
When it is in the power of thine hand to do it.
Yeah, if you have it in your ability, don't withhold it. You know what I mean? Because if you, whatever you sow, that's what you're gonna reap. So if you sow sparingly, then you're gonna reap sparingly. So if you have extra and you know it's just sitting around, or even if you want to make that sacrifice, the Most High is gonna look at that and he's gonna bless you tenfold for that too.
All
right?
John.
That's in James.
Yeah, go there real quick. Go to James.
James chapter 2, verse 17.
What did you hit?
John. James chapter 2, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
Even so faith, it hath not worked. If it hath not worked,
go ahead.
It is dead.
Yeah, so
being alone.
The scriptures is telling us that faith without works is dead. We know that. You got to have faith with works so that they can complete each other. You can't have one without the other. Go ahead.
Being alone.
Go ahead.
Verse 18. Yet a man may say, thou hast faith.
No, start at verse 15. Start at verse 15.
Come. James chapter 2, verse 15.
Go ahead.
If a brother or a sister be naked and destitute of daily food.
You see that? If a brother or sister be naked. That's what's been going on since this storm hit. Right? You got people that's been flooded out of their houses. They've been displaced. Homes destroyed, cars. Go ahead.
Verse 16. And one of you say unto them, depart in peace.
Yeah, see, that's what Joel Osteen trying to pull. He trying to pull the, I'm going to pray for you. Right? I'm gonna pray for you and you'll be okay. We're gonna send prayers out, brothers and sisters. We're gonna send prayers out through Twitter. Right? Where's my prayer warriors? But the scripture says if you see your brother in need, right? Go ahead.
Be ye warm and filled.
Yeah, depart in peace. Be ye warm and filled. Like, is a prayer gonna fill a man's belly? Is a prayer gonna put some clothes on a man's back? Go ahead.
Notwithstanding, ye give them not those things which are needful to the body.
Yeah. When a brother's up on you naked and without a house and shelter and food. They don't need no damn prayers at that time. They need some food, some clothes, and shelter. They need things for the body. Go ahead.
What doeth it profit?
Yeah, what's the profit if you don't give him the things that he needs? See, this is the problem with the leadership, the pastors. This is the problem with the government. They'll give you a good word, but they don't give you the things that are needful to the body at the time. This is what Joel Osteen tried to pull. He tried to pull the prayer. I'm going to pray for y'all while I'm sitting up in my $10 million mansion. And then try to lie and say, oh, the church is flooded.
It's inaccessible.
It's inaccessible when you have people walking up to his church. I don't even call it a church, excuse me. They were walking up to his
stadium,
his establishment. They were walking up to the Rocket Stadium. That's what it is. That's what it is. If you don't know, it's the old Houston Rockets basketball arena, which is built to not flood. It's built to be a shelter. But see, he tried to pull the okey doke, because he did, like, I'm going to take y'all niggas money, but guess what? Y'all niggas can't come sleep in my damn church. Y'all can't come sleep and filthy up my building. He was scared they were going to turn the building into the Saints arena, way back when, and Katrina, right? He was scared, like, they're going to destroy the building. So he's like, yeah, y'all can't come here, I'm going to pray for y'all. I ain't going to give y'all what you need, but I'm going to pray. Go ahead.
Verse 17. Even so faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone.
See that faith without works? It was dead, man. It was sad because it took public outcry for this man to open up his church. To open up his building that can house 16,000 people. 16,000 people, and obviously it ain't gonna be able to house 16,000 people in the capacity of everybody ain't gonna just be sitting in seats. It got 16,000 seats. But no matter what, it's a large building that helps. He should have been the first one with his doors open. He should have been the first one with his doors open trying to help people. But when he say, oh, I'll open up the doors when all the other shelters are full. How about if everybody said, we'll go to Joel Osteen's church when all the other churches are full? His ass to be broke. Yeah, whoever that collection plate to be full, then we'll put some money in the collection plate. But see, that's the mentality of these pastors, these preachers, and it shows. But it takes things like this, like floods and natural disasters, to bring out the virtue in a man, to bring out a man's character. Now we see Smiley's character. That he's not a man of the Most High, which we all knew he wasn't. But see, you got the dumb Negroes that will stand up for him and say, oh, not my pastor, not my Joel, right? But he showed you who he was. When he didn't want to open the doors to your ass when he was getting rained on. He didn't give you the things that were needful to the body. He gave you a prayer and a hope, a false hope. So, we say that to say this, that whatever you can give to help people out here, because they don't need it, send it to the school. Send it. Whether it be money, whether it be cars, clothes, it don't matter. Send it because they don't need it. And like I said, we're going to do our part. We've been doing our part. We've been doing our part. My brother asked me, what can we do as a school to help people out there in the streets that have been affected? And, I thought about it, and I've been thinking about it for the last couple of days, and what it really is staying faithful to what you've been doing. Staying faithful to the word. Being an example. Because it all goes back to the ones that are faithful and locked into the Most High, they're not getting affected by these things. The ones that understand the importance of a body, the importance of coming together, not just for the good, but for the bad, like the scriptures say, they come out unscathed. They come out untouched.
Right. When you look back in the day, when Israel was dwelling in the land of Goshen, even though they were in their captivity, they still had unification. They still didn't get touched when when that death angel came through. Not a single soul got touched in Israel. Why? Because they understood They understood to hearken. They hearkened unto the voice of what Moses told them to do, and they bonded together. When anytime Israel always came through and we conquered, is because we hearkened unto the voice of the Lord thy God, and then we bonded together. We overcame every nation. People would quake at the sight of us, at the hear of us. Why? Because together we stood.
Wait, you sure it wasn't like one man that was just like super mighty with all the muscles and dreads and the biggest beard that they feared, or was it the fact that we came together?
It was the fact that we came together.
Because the way Israel be rolling, it's like, nah, nigga, I don't need nobody but me.
Me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I doesn't win a war. We didn't conquer nations because of that. We conquered nations because the Most High was with our unification. Psalms 133, that's where he commanded the blessing. We get blessed every single time we're together. Every single time we unite, whether, 3 years, 4 years back when brothers was teaching in the flood cave and they was held up at the school, every single place around here was flooded except this building right here. Why? Because everybody was bonded together. There was unity inside the school while everybody was stuck here for a day. Anytime we bond together in anything we do, we're always going to come. The Most High is always going to show forth that blessing. He's going to show the hand of his works through our unification. That's why the scripture says, woe to him who's left alone. Because you don't have anybody there to defend you. You don't have anybody there to help defend you. Con? What you got?
No, we got a question real quick. We got a question online. What's the question?
The question is, it says, how do you handle your children if they become disobedient?
Whoop that? Nah. Nah, I mean, obviously there's a method. You know, a child just doesn't become disobedient. A child learns disobedience through time. So you gotta first understand, what is the child picking up? Where is it picking it up from? Oh, I like that word, disobedient. Did he use that word in his question?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're about to go in. But yeah, a child that becomes disobedient. Like I said, yeah, a child doesn't just become disobedient. Either they're not being taught obedience, or they're picking up from an outside source.
Right, that's a learned behavior.
Yeah, it's learned. Just like how you teach your kids about Christmas. They didn't pop out asking where's Santa. You showed them Santa, right? They didn't pop out like, where's the Tooth Fairy? You showed them that. So disobedience, we gotta remember one thing, man. The children are a reflection of us. I like to go here because they are a reflection of what you're doing to the Most High, and they're a reflection of what you don't cover with them. But I mean, a good place to start, we can start at Ecclesiastes chapter 30. Right?
Gone.
We can start at Ecclesiastes chapter 30. Yeah, go ahead. What you got? Go ahead.
Give me Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 4, please. And the reason why I'm going here is to show the basis of, being a parent is we're supposed to teach. So, the Most High gave us this commandment from the beginning. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse, start at verse, start at verse 6. Start at verse 10 at the top.
Start at verse 7. Yeah. Start at verse 4. You can just start at verse 4. This is the Israelite credo, right?
It is.
This is the Israelite credo. Go ahead, read.
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord.
Read.
And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart.
So once again, Moses is telling the children of Israel to hearken unto what the Most High is about to drop to them. What they're supposed to do. It says in verse 6, which the commandments they give them this day should be in your heart. You should understand what the Most High is trying to teach you, what he's trying to give you. He's giving us the instructions of how to be a prosperous nation and family, starting with your family. So read.
He's showing you how to prevent disobedience in your household. Right. This is how it starts. This is where it starts. This is where you cut off the disobedience, right? Go ahead.
Verse 7. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children.
Unto who?
Unto thy children.
Read that again.
And these words which I command thee this day.
Sorry, verse 7.
And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children.
So once again, everything that the Most High put in this book, he said you should do what?
Teach them diligently unto thy children.
So once again, children are malleable. What that means, malleable means that they can be instructed. Their mind can be formed. So the Most High is letting us know already, listen, teach them my statutes and my commandments. And like the brother said, they won't be disobedient in the long run. Why? Because they understand and they fear the Most High's way.
Yeah, you gotta put the fear of the Most High in your children early. You gotta put that fear in them early. You gotta be able to point out things that happen in the world, like perfect example, this flood that happened in Houston. You gotta be able to show your kids, like, look, the Most High did that. That wasn't man-made, like you're trying to say on the internet. The Most High caused this to happen, and look at what's going on. You gotta be able to sit your children down and show them current events of things that are happening in the world and why. Now, obviously, everyone's child is not going to be able to pick up. Like I wouldn't expect a 3-year-old to understand a flood and why it's happening. But there's still ways to relate things to them, but you got to start it early. Okay?
And it starts with you as well, because they look at your example. Kids, they like to mimic everything they see, the words that they hear, the actions that they see somebody do. Especially their father or mother, the ones that they look up to, they're like, that's all they see all day. So the question is, what do you do? Continue to read.
Plus children are sponges, man, like he was saying. They soak up everything. So yeah, if your example is garbage, they're gonna soak up that garbage example. If your example is good, they're gonna soak that up. You know, I don't care what kid it is. If you're around him long enough, he's gonna want to be like you. Right. Or she. They're gonna do the things you do. My kids do. It's weird, man. Even my daughter, she don't even get it. Like I was getting ready for class today, and I'm playing a song, and she runs in the room like, I'm playing the same song. And I'm like, that's weird. But I'm not listening to that like vulgar. I'm listening to like Justin Bieber. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I listen to Bieber. But it just to show you, they pick up and they do things, they mimic everything that we do as leaders. So if your example's bad, they're going to pick it up. If your example's good, they're going to pick it up. So we got to remember that. Go ahead, Ray.
Come, and shall talk to them when thou sittest in thy house.
Once again, so you're going to go over what you talked about. It's going to be a habit in your house to understand the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. You literally have to, number one, understand your children, but understand how to get to your children, how to open them up into which they can understand. Because once again, everybody learns differently.
Where you at?
And when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up,
right,
and thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thy eyes.
Yeah, so the Most High is just showing you that the way we deal on it should be always in your mind, so that way you can teach your children. See, that was the problem in Israel where we stopped teaching the children. And then the whole nation became disobedient. Right? So, yeah, you got to be able to talk to your children about the law, about the Most High, show them the fear of the Most High. And then obviously there's other methods. The scriptures talk about, a lot of people are against it, but the scriptures talk about putting that rod on them, beating them. Right? So, and not abusing them, not hitting them with belt buckles and throwing irons. Your mom back in the day would throw the iron at you. Or throw whatever was in arm's reach. You talking smack, you get hit with a frying pan. Yeah, my mom is Jamaican, so anything was gonna fly at you. My grandparents, same thing. Anything that was in arm's reach. And Issachar, they get down like that too. They'll whoop you with anything they can find. You get beat with a chancla, right? You get beat with a John Cleta, right? You get beat with a sandal. This is why I ain't playing. So go to Proverbs real quick. Go to Proverbs 29 and 15. Because obedience, once again, is something that is learned, and there's levels to disobedience. So you should be able to get to the point where you can't talk to your child anymore. This is where you might have to go.
Proverbs chapter 29, verse 15.
Go ahead.
The rod and reproof give wisdom.
You see this? The rod and reproof give wisdom. So yes, you might have to just tap that backside. It says the rod and reproof give wisdom. Go ahead.
But a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame.
Yeah. A child that's just by himself, you stick him in front of the TV and that's all they do, 24/7, 365. They're going to bring shame because now they're just going to be just creating their own devices. They're going to pick up whatever they see. Now you take that child out into the store, and what happens? He sees something he wants. What does he do? Temper tantrum. Temper tantrum. You ever see them kids that just wild out in the stores? Oh, yeah. And you're looking like, damn, I wish my kid would. And the mom is like, come on, little Billy. The kid is putting her to shame. He's making her look shamed in the store because there's no discipline there. They didn't start the discipline process at the house, so now when they go in public, this kid is just a damn wild onion. Baby kid, rug rat, right? So a kid left to themselves is gonna put their mom to shame. Go to where you at? 16. Go to 16.
When the wicked are multiplied.
Go to 17.
Correct thy son.
Do what?
Correct thy son.
Go ahead.
And he shall give thee rest.
Yeah. You got to correct your son. So when you see him messing up, you're supposed to let him know. Look, stop. No. You got to. You got to do it early because what's going to happen is if you don't and then you try, they're going to be into their own habits. They're going to be in their mode of disobedience. And that breaking process is going to be harder. Yeah, go to Proverbs 22 and 15. No, you good?
Done? Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 22, verse 15. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child.
The foolishness is the unlearned or lack of understanding, right? So children automatically, they're born with lack of understanding. So that foolishness is going to be bound in the heart of a child. Why? Because they haven't experienced enough to know right from wrong. That's where the parent comes in. All right, go ahead.
But the rod of correction shall drive it far from him.
But that rod of correction, whether it be verbal or in this case, whether it be with the tool, right? It's gonna drive that foolishness from them. Because when you tell them no and then they test you, because that's what they're gonna do, they're gonna test you. You smack their hand. Then two, if it gets past the smack of the hand, you got to drop them draws and hit the bridges. Then do it. But that's going to drive that foolishness from them to know. Listen, I can't mess with that because I got smacked the last time. Listen, I'm not going to test my dad or I'm not going to test my mother because I know she's gonna get that belt.
Come on, man. Let's be real. The Most High be whooping our ass as grown people.
Oh.
So how is a kid exempt from getting their butt whooped?
They can't be.
They can't be. That's how like the scriptures say, that's where you get the wisdom from. Now you know what I can't do. Now you know your limitations. So, like we said, there's obviously levels. Your first instinct shouldn't be, oh, your kid messed up, punch him in the face. You want to talk to him. I'm doing that more with my son, where he be deserving. He's very deserving of ass whoopings, but I'm trying to communicate more with him and talk to him so he can understand that so he can learn how to communicate his way out of issues and not just hit him, because that don't solve what he's dealing with. So I try to talk to him and try to figure out why he does certain things that he does, because he's getting older. He's about to be 4 tomorrow, right? Yeah, he's about to be 4 years old, so I'm trying to get him to the point where I ain't got to be whooping on him. All my kids got to the age of 3, 4, and I stopped whooping them. I didn't have to. I was able to talk to him. He's a little different. He's a little different guy. He's a boy. He's stubborn. He thinks that he knows how to do things, and he wants to do things the way he wants. So sometimes I gotta touch him. But for the most part, I'm trying to do the communication thing with him and talk to him and no, son, why did you do that, son? And not just wring his neck off the bat. Y'all understand that? And it, go to Proverbs 22:6, so it really starts here. And this is what we were talking about. And we should have pulled this one from the jump.
Right.
But this goes right along with Deuteronomy 6:4. Read that.
Train up a child in the way he should go.
Yeah, you're supposed to train your child. Think about it. A child is always in training, right? Because they don't know nothing. Like we pulled earlier, a child is a fool. Because they don't have to understand it. They have zero experience in anything. So a child is in training for his whole childhood. That's the thing. A child is in training for his whole childhood. So his whole childhood should be, no, son. Yes, son. You did that right, son. No, that was wrong, son. That's a child's childhood. He needs to be shown all the time what they're doing wrong or what they're doing right. You train them up from a child. Go ahead.
God. And when he is old,
right, and when he gets older, go ahead.
He will not depart from it.
Why? What do you think, Allison? Why will he not depart from it? If you train him up from a child to when he's old, or a man, why will he not depart from what you show him?
He has to learn. He has to go through the method and just learn in his head, like, okay, whenever I mess up this first time, this is what happens, this is what the repercussions, this is the consequences, right? So it conditions him and helps him remember in his head, like, don't do it again. And then it just establishes wisdom.
There is. I mean, that's, yeah, she said basically, they basically, in short words, they get the experience of the right and the wrong. They understand punishment for right and wrong. They understand punishment, reward. That's the thing. When you're training somebody, you gotta remember one thing. You're gonna make mistakes, right? How many people have ever trained a person at a job? Yeah, so you know, I've done it. I've trained many people. We do it now. This is what this is, training. So when you're training a person, they may not get it right away. They're going to make mistakes, so you got to afford them to be able to make mistakes. At the same time, you got to see, okay, are they making mistakes because they just don't understand, or is this are they being rebellious? Because that's different too. Is this person just lack wisdom, or they just rebellious as hell to where they just, like children do, they just purposely test you. So then now that's where you got to judge and say, okay, now I got to up my level of punishment. And then you go into the beating and things like that. So, you know, when a child starts to get disobedient, man, you got to sometimes just dial it all the way back and figure out. For one, I always say, if there's a problem, you got to find the source. What is the source of this disobedience? You know, we got to remember one thing, man. Children are very receptive, and they pick up a lot more than we know. And obviously, the reason why they do act out is because they don't know how to express themselves verbally to let you know that there's a problem. So they act out just in different ways. So you gotta really say, okay, this child, what environment was this child in? What environment are they in now? Is something changed in their environment? Is there a new person in their life, parent-wise? What, did they grow up with daddy? You know, it's all these different factors that you got to look at to say, damn, okay, where is this disobedience coming from? Because it don't just start. They don't, read that again, Proverbs 22:6.
Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go.
Right.
And when he is old, he will not depart from it.
Right? Yeah, he's not going to depart from it, because if you train him up the right way, he's going to understand the value in it. After a while, he's going to understand, like, damn, this ain't just for no reason. You know, kids don't understand things at first, but then when they start to grow up and they start to see, like, other kids around them with messed up lives, And they're like, well, how come my life ain't messed up? Well, because my dad taught me certain things when I was young that I held on to. So I'm going to just keep holding on to that so I can teach my kid. And I'm going to teach so he can teach his kid. And then it's this cycle of good teaching. You know, so that's where it starts, is recognizing where the problem comes from, hitting them early, and then different levels of reward and punishment. Abiyar.
I was gonna say, also on that, when you give them that foundation, even if they do start to, even if through their life they grow up and they make all these off decisions, when they fall down and land back on that foundation that you built for them as a child in the scriptures.
Yeah, that's real, because you always bring them back to, well, the scriptures say this, and this is why it happened. Now you have something to show them where they're off. See, a lot of parents, think about it, a lot of parents don't have anything to show their children, this is why this happened. This happened to you because this. All they can say is, well, this happened because you didn't listen to me. Right, it's because you didn't listen to me. But it got to be something greater than that. Because you ain't going to pump the fear into them like the Most High is going to pump the fear. It's just like us. Another man can tell me whatever he wants to tell me. I don't fear that man. It got to be the fear of the Most High. So yeah, that's a perfect point where if you institute the Most High into daily dealings around the house, now you can always come back and say, well, you read that. This is the Most High. It's not me. Especially when you pull back and the Most High to start dealing with them, especially when they start getting older, you can say, listen, this was because you decided to, whatever it is, you wanted to be a homosexual when I told you it was wrong. You wanted to do drugs. You wanted to hang out with the wrong people. You wanted to get pregnant super early. And I'm naming all these things that kids do after a certain time. This is that rebellion where it's like, I'm going to go screw everybody. I'm going to go drink everything. I'm going to go smoke everything. And then we'll see what happens. And a lot of times these young people come out with a lot of problems. They come out with the pregnancy. They be hooked on drugs. They be homeless. Parents disown them because they didn't listen to wisdom in the beginning. But yeah, you can definitely hit, what time is it? Because we're going to go into this class, but you can definitely hit, you can hit Ecclesiasticus, the 30th chapter. You could actually hit Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, the 42nd chapter. Go to Ecclesiasticus 42 real quick. 42 and 9. That's where we're going to start.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 42 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
The father walketh with the daughter.
Waketh for the daughter.
Salah. The father waketh for the daughter.
Go ahead.
When no man knoweth.
Yeah, see, a dad that cares for his daughter, for his kids, he gonna be up, man. When nobody knows he's up, he up thinking about his kids. He's worried about them. He's worried about, are they being brought up right? Go ahead.
And the care for her taketh away sleep.
You see that? He losing sleep. Go ahead.
When she is young, lest she pass away, yes, Salah, lest she pass away the flower of her age. And being married, lest she should be hated.
Go ahead.
In her virginity, lest she be defiled and gotten with child in her father's house.
Go ahead.
And having an husband, lest she should misbehave herself. And when she is married, lest she would be barren. 11. Keep a sure watch over a shameless daughter.
Yeah, see, the scriptures is telling you that you gotta watch it. You gotta watch this daughter. Start back up at verse. Go back to verse 9.
Verse 9.
And it says, when she is young, lest she pass away the flower of her age. You see that? So it's talking about what happens to these little young girls when nobody ain't watching them.
Flower.
They lose that flower early. They be virginized by these little nigglets out in the street trying to pop everything. Right? That's why the scriptures say a kid that is left alone brings shame to that mother. She brings shame to her parents because now she out here at 12 pregnant. Right? She out here at 7 popping it. Because why? Nobody was watching over this daughter. But see, it don't get to this part. It only gets to this part if you don't do Proverbs 22 and 6. Raise her early. If you don't take care of her early and get into her head early, it won't get to this. But it will if you don't watch out for her. What are you going to say? What?
No, you know, in Ecclesiastes, how it talks about the man not teaching a woman an evil lesson, right? Mm-hmm. That same fashion, that same order works within the household, because when she's being rebellious and then she's trying to be the figure in the household, and she's trying to lead the household and teach the kids, she's gonna teach her children in a bad fashion, and they're gonna bring shame to her in his actions.
Well, yeah, because think about it. What's the method that they use to raise kids in America?
They use TV, grandma.
Yeah, but that's what I was looking for. What they learn from another family member.
Exactly.
They never say, oh, let me use the Bible to raise my kids, or let me use some actual wisdom.
It's some other source. It's some other influence.
It's always a person that sucked at raising them.
Exactly.
That's the thing. How are you going to rely on the person that didn't raise you well to help you raise your kids? That's like asking a person that's been divorced 50 times for marriage counsel. But guess what? We do it. It's real. You asking your uncle that all he did was slap around his women to get results on how to deal with a woman.
Come on, Steve Harvey's sitting up on. He had a talk show. He's been married 7 times, and he's trying to give advice about marriage.
He actually, I think the wife he's with now, like he was like sleeping with her when she was with somebody else. Don't quote me. It might be right. It might be wrong. But yeah, how you gonna get marriage counsel from a guy that is an adulterer? It don't make. But see, that's the problem with society. Our wisdom comes from the wrong place.
Ecclesiastes 19 and 22. Grab that real quick. That shit, because it's a fact that it comes from the wrong place. Isaiah 8:20 says, to the Lord, to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, there is no wisdom in whatever they're saying. If they can't pull it from the scriptures, well, look, child, this is why I'm disciplining you like this. Look, child, look, daughter, this is why I'm talking to you like this. Look, child, this is why you're about to catch the butt whooping. Right? If it's not according to this word, there's no light in it. But you want to use the wickedness and the wisdom of this world. But here's what the Bible says about the people who use this wickedness with grandma, daddy, nene, what's the other words? Grandma, Romika, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my granny and them said.
My granny,
my grandmama and them said. Yeah, Nana said.
Nana and them.
My Tio said. Tia. Yeah, all that. Paw said.
This is what Paw said.
Yeah, that's what Paw said.
Blackfoot told me.
Yeah. But see, the problem is, what Paw said was wrong because you came out jacked up.
Oh.
That's the thing.
You ended up with like whoring yourself out of early age.
Right. You ended up being this woman, this Ecclesiastes 42 and 9. So we gotta understand, man. Go pull that one at Ecclesiastes 19:22. Read that real quick.
God, the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom.
So the knowledge of wickedness. What is the knowledge of wickedness? Anything that's not backed up into this word. Anything that's not in this word. Where you, okay, well, you just got to get in this world, but you don't have to get in when you fit in. Okay, show me that. Show me where the scripture says that.
Yeah, you sound like DJ from Hustle and Flow.
Okay, what book is that in?
Yeah, where do you get that wisdom from? Like, man is man, but man's a dog, and
unless he got the paint that's taken out.
Yeah, like, where do you get that? I was like, huh?
I did.
What scripture is that, sir?
That's why. Read it again.
The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom.
Now, knowledge of wickedness is stupidity with the Most High. The Most High, he looks so down upon the wisdom that you're trying to raise another child with that's not according to this world. He calls it stupid. He calls it wicked. That's like It's stupid. It's stupid as hell. There's some other words I wanted to use, but the scripture says it all. It's wickedness. The wisdom of this world is wickedness. Go ahead.
God, neither at any time the counsel of sinners.
Neither at any time. What?
The counsel of sinners.
What are they taking?
The counsel of sinners.
When you went to your grandmama and them?
The counsel of sinners.
Well, my uncle has said.
The counsel of sinners.
Well, yeah, but pastor.
The counsel of sinners.
Wait. The first lady said.
The counsel of sinners.
Because she's the female head of the church.
Prudence.
And neither the counsel of sinners at any time is prudence. So we gotta understand, man. That counsel that y'all get to raise y'all children, just where you just hear, oh, just whoop on them and that's it, or just leave them alone, they'll get to it. Nah, that's not what the scriptures say. So we definitely got to come back to raising them up the right way early through the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High, showing them different values that matter, showing them why it's if you got a girl to wear a dress and dress like a lady. I'm not saying you got to dress them down all the time, because they do have to make choices. I like to let my kids make choices so they can see the results of their actions sometimes. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times the results aren't good because they don't make the right choices. Then you got to come back and show them, like, look, you decided you don't want to shower for like 4 days, now you stink. It be little things like that, where your kids don't want to shower, and it's like, well, how come you didn't want to shower? Oh, you just want to play on the phone? Okay, now give you the phone for a week so you can get back to your chores and hygiene, things like that. And we just gonna go right into the class, man, because if we're dealing with this disobedience, the disobedience, yes, it don't start with the children, it starts with us. And, in lieu of this recent, like me personally, I've never been through a hurricane. I've never been through a hurricane in my life. This was the first one. And what's that?
Well, before we took it, someone had asked another question.
Oh, they have.
It was another sister. She said, what did Jesus mean when he said all things are clean? That all things are clean.
Sis, put the scripture I seen that. Put the scripture that you're talking about. And we'll get to it. But I've never been in a hurricane before. So just sitting back and looking at all the destruction and all the different things that the Most High was doing, it makes you really have to sit back and think. We had nothing but 4 days trapped in the house of just thinking and that's all I was doing. I was sitting back, watching my little TV, whatever. But just the thoughts and seeing everything on the internet and all the water and houses underwater and it being so close. It's one thing when you're in Colorado. No, where was I? I was living in Philadelphia and Katrina and right down the damn street. Doing and who thinks they know what kept the Most High from affecting us? Y'all think it was coincidence?
A lot.
Truthfully, if y'all think it's coincidence, raise your hand. I mean, what you think, Ray?
Honestly, hey, if a hurricane was coming straight for us,
it came straight for us.
Hey, I've been through a hurricane. I'm talking about the eye. We could see the eye of it. That would have been.
Bruh,
if we would have went through that.
It went over us.
It would have been a coincidence.
It went over us. If you didn't know that, the whole storm, the storm went over us.
He's talking about like a coincidence, like if you try to scientifically break it down, they did do new construction, like in our neighborhood, they did new construction.
And then, the way we live, it's it's like we got higher elevation.
Because we're not in the valley where the water drains in, and we're not near the reservoirs of the dams. So,
but guess what? Where's the school? Located next to a big reservoir.
God.
The Haram's house.
Big bayou.
He is 10 feet away from a bayou. You see that? Even my spot, I didn't even realize this, but even my spot, there's a bayou that runs right through the middle of it.
There is.
I drove by that, I was like, damn, it was full. But it never overflooded. So we gotta sit back and say, is that coincidence? Is that coincidental? that the Most High was like, yeah, I got 3 bodies in 3 different locations. Not one of them flooded. We had to do emergency rescues, and brothers was getting through it. Is that coincidental that none of our cars, and I'm not bragging, I'm not bragging in any way, but what I'm trying to show is the Most High, His grace, His power, His mercy on those that are obedient to what He wants. Everybody in here been sacrificing. I know y'all online, y'all been sacrificing. But we really got to sit back and say, damn, is it coincidental that the Most High literally, I mean, bro, it's like nothing happened. That's what it feels like. As far as where we were. No road closures. It was not, I was on the map last night to look at the roads closed. And our whole area was open. So we have access to go hit stores if we needed to. I was able to go grab water. If I needed to go grab water in the middle, I was able to run and go grab water. Everything was open. So we got to ask and see, what was the Most High trying to show us? Because we know, y'all know that it was deadly out there, right? What's that?
We got into the stores right before they closed.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, all that. Even on Friday, we was, listen, because you know what it was? It was our level of communication we're going to go through. It was our level of communication. It was the obedience to what was being laid down at the time. Listen, everybody bunker up with another brother, another sister. That way, ain't nobody left alone. Everybody did that. Right? It's these little things that we lay down to ensure safety. It's the standard that we have. It's the ordinances that we lay down to ensure that during, before, and after, everybody was safe. Everybody had food. Everybody had water. Right? It wasn't this, I'm going to do me, y'all niggas do you. Every man for himself, tag, you're it, I'm not it. I got water, but y'all niggas can't have none. I got this, but y'all can't get it. Right? It wasn't none of that. But see, that's the importance of a body. Somebody go to Ecclesiastes real quick. Go to Ecclesiastes 39 and verse 28. So y'all can title this class, Your Disobedience is Your Destruction. You gotta understand, man, the Most High did this. It wasn't no, like I was looking at something, who sent that? Was that was your rib, Abiyar. She said the thing about the weather machine, the article. Oh, yeah. And I read through the article, I'm like, damn, if they wanted to do that, they could do it. But on the scale of what happened, it was the Most High. And this is why. This place is wicked as hell. And the Most High is purging slowly. He's trying to wake people up. He's trying to wake people up to show them, like, look, this is me. Wake up. I do this. Read where you at. Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes chapter 39 and verse 28.
Go ahead.
There be spirits that are created for vengeance.
Listen, the Most High created this storm for vengeance. If y'all didn't know that. He's taking vengeance on this homosexual, pothead, lean-sipping state. Read it again.
There be spirits that are created for vengeance.
Go ahead.
In their fury, lay on sore strokes.
Go ahead.
In the time of destruction, they pour out their forces.
Did not Harvey pour out his forces? I'm talking about Harvey like he's a damn man. That dude had this, that hurricane had the spirit of destruction on it. He poured out his force on Houston. Go ahead.
And appease the wrath of him that sent them.
Yeah, because the Most High sent that storm.
So like that made them.
Yeah, the Most High sent and made that storm, if y'all didn't know that. Ain't no damn such thing as Mother Nature. Mother Nature ain't real. You better call him Papa Nature. Because it's the Most High. He created that storm. He sent it to appease his wrath. Y'all gotta see it, man. Texas is one of the most prideful ass places that I've ever lived in. They're prideful as hell out here. They're prideful as hell. They're prideful in anything. The homosexual pride is just, it baffles me. The fact that these cats walk around like, yo, I want to smell like weed. What do you call it? I got that weed cologne. Yeah, just statements like that. Where you proud to walk around like a damn crackhead. You hit a brother up, man, how you doing? Oh, I'm just sitting back here eating and smoking. Oh, you taking pride in your drugs. Okay. And now your whole, well, go ahead.
I'm puffing, but I'm not inhaling it.
I'm puffing, but I ain't inhaling. You fool. Meanwhile, the Most High is blowing through your living room with a storm. Got your whole ceiling in your damn couch. Because why? That pride. He's trying to crush and destroy that pride. The Most High is pissed off, man. He is upset. Oh, yeah. He's upset. The Most High created this storm to purge. Read on.
Verse 29. Fire and hail.
Go ahead.
And famine.
You see this? Fire and hail. These are natural occurring things. Fire, hail, famine. Think about it. Things was catching on fire during a damn flood. Think about it. People was going hungry. They had one sister on the news where her 3 kids, they were trying to interview her fresh off of a rescue. And she was like, we haven't ate for 4 days and y'all got the damn mic in my face. We cold, we hungry. But think about, it wasn't just her. You had people that was hungry, going through it. 4 or 5 days trapped in their attic, trapped on their roof. Why? Because the Most High was trying to exact some type of anger on the state. He's trying to wake people up, man. You got a lot of people that, think about it, you got a lot of people that don't even believe in the Most High. That's a sin. I hope they believe now. I hope they believe now. Because only the Most High can create something so great and so masterful. Think about it, man. This damn storm. Listen, I watched the Doppler radar on this storm. Right. They tracked it from, it looked like it came from damn Australia. the way it looked, it started out as a speckle. Not Australia, but somewhere beyond the Caribbean. But in those warm waters. Way past Haiti, way past Puerto Rico. It was all the way out there, man. A speckle. And they just tracked it, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger until it hit that coast. And just sat on top of Houston for days. And then went back into the ocean, and what's it doing now? Ripping through Louisiana. Come on, man. Y'all gotta look at the mentality of people in Louisiana, though. What's the mentality in Louisiana, Ray?
Get it how you live. I don't need nobody.
Get it how you live. I don't need nobody. All I want to do is be a rapper, talk funny, and get money.
And smoke weed.
Not saying that everybody in Louisiana is like this, but that's the consensus. Same thing with Texas, man. There's a bunch of weed smoking
heroin addicts, because lean is heroin.
Weed smoking heroin addict Christians.
Oh.
Bible belly, thinking they know something, but the Most High showed you that you don't know a damn thing. Because y'all want to eat all your damn pork and crab and all that filth. Go eat that stuff now. Go pull it out that filthy river that is floating in right in your backyard.
In your house.
In your house, yeah, you can fish for all that now, I'm sure. Because it's floating around in your house. See, you got to really understand, man, that, and I'm not saying these things to belittle anybody that's going through it, anybody that got caught up in the flood, but y'all got to wake the hell up and see that it's real. And that your lack of disobedience causes these things that we're reading. Read on.
And death.
And what?
And death.
Yeah. How many people died so far?
20.
Damn.
It was 20.
A lot of the flood waters also have like diseases and
Bacteria. Yeah, think about it. You know, it's funny you said that because I was driving and I was thinking about like the drinking water. I'm like, why is the water in Texas so bad? But then when you look at it, as soon as it rains, it floods. And that water gets backed up into the system. It don't clean well. And it's sewage water. A lot of it is just sewer water that's going into the little cleaning station to be cleaned. And then you drink it and you sick and you filthy inside and it's like you drinking water in Mexico. Yeah, a lot of that water, I mean, that water ain't no blue water. There ain't no Cancun, Mexico water. That look like a swamp.
Right. Yeah, they said that the water refinery or whatever that they use to clean the water, that got flooded.
It shut down.
Yeah, it shut down.
Yeah, because the pumps. The pumps can only handle so many tons or millions of tons of water at a time. The same thing with the levees. The same thing with the dams. They all work on pumps. But when you got X amount of water above the capacity, it's going to shut down. But it says death. Come on, man. They said over 100,000 homes flooded. Think about how many bodies is floating in them houses that they couldn't get to.
People trying to escape.
People trying to escape and couldn't. People trying to drive in their car. Cars flooded. They're not going to know until what? That water resides. Same thing that happened in Katrina, right? They was finding body after body in them houses.
Mark it on the house.
You said what?
They're going to mark it on the house.
Yeah, they'll mark it. Yeah, a lot of them houses in Louisiana were marked, right? What did they do that for?
Basically see who survived, how many people was in there, and like who was rescued, and then who died inside of that. You know.
So basically, they check it off to say we got this house clear.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, you're gonna see 100,000 houses with X's, but it's real. See, this is the Most High that's doing that. But we gotta ask ourselves, how come certain people didn't even feel the effects? What was it that they, not even what they were doing at the time, what have they been doing? We've been obedient to the word. We've been subject to one another, right? We've been, man, sacrificing, losing, giving up for our people, yes. But it don't just stop at a flood hit, or it don't just start at, oh, a flood's about to hit, let me get right. People should have been getting right.
Come.
Read on.
All these were created for vengeance.
They were created for what?
For vengeance.
The Most High did what?
Vengeance.
The Most High exacted his vengeance. What you got? Why you want to go there? Man, nah, let me see. Why you want to go? Can I see? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Go to, what verse were you at?
Verse 29, just finished.
Go to, read on.
Verse 30. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions.
Go ahead.
And serpents. And the sword. Punishing the wicked to destruction.
Go ahead.
They shall rejoice in his commandment.
You see that? Whatever spirit was on Harvey that the Most High put on that damn hurricane was happy to rip through this state. It was happy to rip through it. It's happy to rip through Louisiana. It's happy to cause this destruction because it's appeasing the Most High. It's doing what the Most High wants. Think about it. They say this is the most destructive storm in U.S. history.
Come.
I'm like, damn, bro. I seen Hurricane Andrew. I wasn't there. But that storm ripped through Florida and decimated the place. So I'm like, how much worse can it get?
Like they said, I think like 20 trillion gallons of water.
Yeah, because you know why? Houston is so big and massive. The destruction is so widespread. That's why it had so much impact.
Oh, and tornadoes was kept dropping.
Tornadoes. Think about it. Come on. Tornadoes. Every 5 minutes it was a flood warning. A levee broke. A dam broke. Hide your wife, hide your kids. Every 5 minutes it was something. Bro, listen, I was tired of the phone going off.
God.
But I have to keep checking it and looking like, okay, nah, we good.
God.
I'm going outside looking like, damn, what the hell is really going on out there? Because ain't nothing happening over here. Bruh.
Oh, we walked the neighborhood. We walked the neighborhood. We walked the neighborhood, and we was just getting. It looked like light rain. You know what I mean? It was moderate rain. It just looked like regular rainfall. Walked the whole neighborhood. Whole neighborhood wasn't even flooded. One area of the section of the subdivision, they didn't have any power. But other than that, everybody was out smoking a cigarette, just looking at the rain.
Yeah. Well, you weren't smoking cigarettes.
No.
All the other people.
The other people that were
yeah.
The other people that were in the subdivision were outside just hanging out. But our whole area, our whole vicinity, everything was good. The Most High, He put His shield over that area.
But then you know what? You got bros that they know what they're supposed to be doing, and guess what happened to them? Most High smacked them. You got brothers that should have been communicating, right? You got brothers that should. Listen, you know what you're supposed to be doing. Y'all know what y'all supposed to be doing, right?
God.
And the Most High was like, look, this is what you're supposed to be doing, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to flood your house real quick. I'm going to make sure you ain't got no food. I'm going to make your rib trip with you. I'm going to do all these things. Bro, think about it. We was in the house. How many of y'all got into a fight with y'all rib in this last 4 days? Probably nobody, right? Think about it. We was holed up in the house for 4. I haven't been on my rib in 4 days straight in forever. And it was peace and harmony. Even the Most High made the households peaceful. Right? The household, I mean, think about it. We had brothers and sisters in our houses that we probably weren't used to having. But it was all peace and love. Because of the obedience that we have towards one another. That's the thing. But then you got brothers that they come around, they get knowledge, they understand what they're supposed to be doing, they show up when they want. And what happened? The Most High flood them out. He cuts them off from being able to move around. And even if they wanted to escape, they wouldn't be able to because they were cut off. Because why? They didn't want to do the things that they were supposed to do before the storm, during, and they probably ain't going to do what they got to do after. What you got? Go ahead.
And this is second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 10, please. And this is just to add about the people that know what they're supposed to do and have a choice and choose not to. So we're understanding that the Most High is giving grace to those that are obedient. But to the disobedient,
He taking it out them pockets.
Right.
He gonna take your disobedience out. You gonna be like that child with the rod. That rod was Harvey. And he whooping.
Actually,
what? No, what?
Start at verse 11, please.
2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 11. And they that have loathed my law.
So what that means is that these individuals already knew the standard of the Most High. They understood what their job and duty was supposed to be.
Yeah, but they loathe the law. When you loathe something, you don't really care for it. You almost hate it. They loathed it. They're like, I don't gather together. Man, the hell y'all talking about? Class 5 days a week. I'm only gonna come 2 days a week. Right. Flyers, I'm only doing that on Sundays. Street speaking, that's only gonna happen when I got time. Yeah, y'all need me to do this? Nah, I ain't doing that. I got other things to go do for my household. Right. See, they loathe the law where it said, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. They loathe where the Most High said, gather for the better and not for the good. Excuse me, gather for the worse, but not the good only. I butchered the scripture. But see, these individuals, what happened? Flooded out. You can't move around. You immobile. You know, we gotta wake up. Go ahead.
Read.
Come. And they that have loathed the law, while they have yet liberty.
Read that again.
And they that have loathed the law, while they had yet liberty.
So the Most High is giving these individuals a chance. It says that they loathed His law while they had liberty. We're at liberty right now. being in this building in these seats dry with your house, this is grace. This is liberty. The Most High is giving you a chance to be covered, for you to actually put in work, be obedient, and allow the Most High to cover you.
Right. You have free time. You actually have free and spare time to come to the Most High.
Come. Read.
Come. And when as yet place of repentance.
See, it's repentance. The Most High is giving you a place of repentance to get your mind right, to get your spirit right.
To be around brothers to get sharp, be around brothers to get your spirit right, get your house right.
Right.
Go ahead.
Was open unto them, understood not, but despised it.
They did what?
Despised it.
See, they didn't take the time to understand. They despised the gathering. They despised the brother, how you been? Let me hit you up. The text messaging. The brother, where you at? They despised that.
Right.
Go ahead.
Jump to verse 9.
Verse 9. Then shall they be in pitiful case.
So the people that despise his law,
go ahead,
that didn't seek his repentance, the time to have his repentance, read what's going to happen.
They shall be in pitiful case.
They shall be a pitiful case. Because the Most High is going to show you.
Yeah, pitiful. They shall be in a pitiful case. Now you hungry, flooded in, sick, tired, can't move around, rib tripping, can't order your family all right. Because why? When you had the chance to be around in your liberty, you loathed it.
You despised it.
You strongly had a dislike. That's what loathe means. You damn near hated it. You hated being around. You found every excuse not to. But see, now you're in a pitiful case. And now what?
You crying to the Most High.
You crying, man. You begging the Most High. And he gonna forgive you. Of course. The Most High will forgive you. But see, it shouldn't get to this point where the Most High gotta send whirlwinds and a damn tornado the size of Texas to wake your ass up. He shouldn't have to flood your house and make it like Noah's Ark. It shouldn't have to rain for 3 days straight for brothers and sisters to wake the hell up. Go to Revelation 7 real quick. We got to really understand one thing. I don't know if y'all understand that this was just, what, 4 cities? Houston, Corpus, Port Arthur, Port something else. Well, the major hits. The major hits were 4 cities. Houston, Port Arthur, there was another port, and it was Corpus Christi. Port Lavaca and Corpus Christi.
Galveston.
4, and then, well, in Galveston, 5 cities. In one state. And I think Dickinson, they said Dickinson is like off the map. It's gone. So, yeah, that's by the mall. They said R.I.P. to Dickinson. That spot is gone. So think about this. One tornado smashed through, or one hurricane in 3 days came through and decimated 4 cities. Go to Revelation 7:1 real quick.
Revelation.
I'm not going to go through a Revelations breakdown, but I wanted to pull this out to show y'all that this ain't even the Most High's complete wrath. This is just a percentage. This is like, yeah, let me, like you get a lollipop in your hand. It's like with an appetizer, bro. You're getting the crumbs. You're getting the crumbs. You're getting the smell of the pizza.
Ooh, you got the drive-by?
Yeah, you just drove, but you're getting the, damn, that smells good. You ain't even getting a taste. Read that. Read Revelation chapter 7 and verse 1.
God, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing.
Go ahead.
Standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth nor on the sea.
Stop right there. So I'm gonna just go through it real quick. We've already been through the Revelations breakdown. But Revelations, the 4 angels, it's Michael, Uriel, Gabriel, and Raphael. All right? The 4 corners equal north, east, south, and west. So he said, I seen the 4 angels sitting on the 4 corners of the earth. Right? So you had an angel position at each corner. Go ahead.
God, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea.
They were holding back the 4 winds. The 4 winds is destruction. That represents the destruction that's going to be brought up on the earth. So think about this. This is future prophecy. This is for the future. This hasn't happened yet. Imagine when the Most High unleashes these angels and says, get them. And you got the whole South from, what's next to Texas? Arizona? What is it?
No, South. Mexico.
New Mexico. So from Texas all the way to Florida is just flooded. Because that's what happens. That whole South, Mississippi, Arkansas, Florida, it floods. Louisiana. So you got the whole from Texas to Louisiana flooded. You got the whole West Coast on fire because what do they get? They get drought. And they get those fires that they can't put out. So from Colorado all the way over to California is just on fire. You got the whole Midwest, snowstorms and ice storms. That's what happens. From Colorado to about Kentucky, they get ice storms. Colorado, Nebraska, Iowa, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, they get blackouts of ice storms. And then you got the East Coast, they get flooded too. Imagine when the Most High unleashes these 4 angels, and this is all happening at the same damn time. We got to really imagine that. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. But guess what? There's going to be a certain few, the 144,000, right? That's going to be sealed. That's going to be saved. Why? What is it that's going to save them? Who knows? What's up, Ray?
The works and their faith that they held all the way into that.
Your faith, your works. I mean, yeah, that's part of it. What else? What do you got to have to keep doing that faith and works? What's the title of the class?
Obedience.
You got to be obedient. You got to be obedient to the work. You got to be obedient to the person giving you the work. You got to be obedient to the cause. But see, when the Most High unleashes these 4 angels, man, listen, it's going to take, obviously it's going to take more than obedience. It's going to be the grace of the Most High to pull your ass out of it. But can you imagine? Look at what happened here in Texas. Can you imagine the earth? And I just use the United States as a picture because we can really picture the U.S. If you got a good map of the U.S., you know, okay, yeah, from this state to this state, from this state to this state. But imagine when the whole earth is catching this. When there ain't no damn shelter. It don't matter if Joel Osteen opens his church or not. What you gonna do? What's gonna happen? Read on.
God. That the wind should not blow on the earth.
Go ahead.
Nor on the sea, nor on the tree.
The sea equals the different people and multitudes and tongues and nations. And you can put next to that, you can go to Revelation 17 and verse 5. Excuse me. Revelation 17 and verse 15. And you can also go to Daniel chapter 7 and verse 3 and verse 17. And it will prove that the sea is talking about the different nations, peoples, tongues, kindreds. So start from Revelation chapter 1 and verse 7 and verse 1 more time.
God. And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth.
North, south, east, and west. Go ahead.
Holding the 4 winds of the earth.
Holding back the destruction. Go ahead.
That the wind should not blow on the earth.
That the destruction shouldn't blow on the earth. Go ahead.
Nor on the sea.
Nor on the people. Go ahead.
Nor on any tree.
Yeah, the trees. The trees talk about the trees are men. The trees are men. You can find that in Mark 8 and 24. And also Psalms chapter 1 and 1 through 3. All right. So the Most High is holding back this wrath. Read verse 2.
And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried.
He had the what?
The seal of the living God.
Go ahead.
And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels.
Go ahead.
To whom it was given to hurt the earth.
Go ahead.
And the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads.
You see that? So Christ, the other angel was Christ. Okay? The angel with the seal, that was Christ. The seal was the knowledge. That's why you go to Isaiah 33:6. It says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of the strength of thy salvation, the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. Excuse me. Isaiah 33:6. Right? So Christ came to the other angels and told them to not hurt the earth or the sea until the number was sealed. So we know that the destruction, when it does hit, it ain't going to hit everybody. And we know there's going to be a sealed number, right? But so we got to ask ourselves, how does one be sealed? How does this happen? How were we prevented from the destruction that happened to Houston? What was one of the major things that we did? That's one. The main thing. Yeah, well, we can only unify if we communicated first. It all started with, I'm going to say it was impeccable communication. I'm going to say this. The communication was dope. It was good. It wasn't perfect at times, but the communication was on par for the situation. Go to Malachi. Go to Malachi. Before we go there, go to Romans chapter 13. Before we go into what the sealing was that prevented our small destruction, let's go to Romans real quick, 13 and verse 1.
Romans chapter 13 and verse 1.
See, because we got to understand that the Most High, when we read in Ecclesiastes, he created these spirits for vengeance, right? He created things to repay sin and repay wickedness, right? Read Romans 13.
Romans chapter 13 and verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers.
You see that? See, every soul is supposed to be subject to the higher powers. So, did we not do this? Con or lie?
Con.
Things were shot out there. Orders were given. They were followed. Right?
Con.
Go ahead.
For there is no power but of God.
Right, but it wasn't like a man was like, oh, I got power over the situation. Y'all do this because I said so. It was like, wait a minute. Let's do this for safety. Let's do this for preservation. Let's be precautious. Let's do these things so that we're safe, right? Go ahead.
The powers that be are ordained by God.
Right, but the Most High put the power on certain men to say, okay, we're going to move this way or that way because of the wisdom they got. Yeah. Go ahead. No. Yeah, get
Verse 2. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power.
Go ahead.
Resisteth the ordinance of God.
You see that? Whoever resisted the power, y'all were resisting the orders of the Most High. It wasn't my orders, but I was sending text messages out like, hey, I need y'all to do this, get water, get gas, do it. Because even when I was telling y'all to get gas, there was a certain way I was telling y'all to do it, right?
God.
Get gas in this vehicle and not this vehicle. Get gas in vehicles that can get through the water and don't worry about cars that can't. Because why? It was about being economical, right?
God.
Even the way we set up who was going to stay with who. That was set up in a way where we had at least one brother at each house.
God.
For safety, right? Go ahead.
And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation.
You see that? But those that resisted, You got flooded, man. You got cut off. You got sick. Nobody was gonna be around to help you if you needed it. You got damnation because your lack of obedience put you in a position to where now you were left in the open. You had no defense. Your lack of obedience put you right in Ecclesiastes 38 and verse 29. It put you in the crosshairs of that spirit. That lack of obedience put you in the crosshairs of Harvey. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Give me Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 3.
Is that it?
Yeah, Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 3. And this is just to add onto the spirit when a person says about being disobedient, about who can control them.
Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 3. And say not, who shall control me for my works?
Once again, the Most High is trying to show, listen. Actually, go up to verse 2.
Follow not thine own mind.
Do what?
Follow not thine own mind.
Yeah, cause I'm sure those people like, man, why we gotta do this? What the hell? Why I gotta listen to him? What I want to put gas in every car that I got. I want to do it like this. But it's the same way they did that with Moses. I'm not saying I'm Moses by any means, but it was the same way they dealt with Moses. When Moses was like, we're gonna go into the wilderness, we're gonna do it like this. Like, why? We want to go back to Egypt. We want to do it our way. We want to eat fish and honey and milk and all these different things that we can't get with you.
Where are we at?
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 3. And once again, this is just a precept for the Romans chapter 13 and verse 2, because it talks about, or actually verse 1, it talks about the powers that the Most High has ordained. The Most High has put people over y'all to give you what? Guidance, understanding, and specifically for the time like this, for the time of disaster. Listen, we about to get the communication up. Everybody report where you're going to, how you're getting there, who you're going with. Why? Because the Most High has given these men the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to lead us.
Yeah, not because anybody wants to taskmaster over anybody. Right? It's all about safety. But see, you got those people out there that's like, oh, I don't need a school. I don't need a camp. I don't need teachers. Guess what? When disaster strikes, who's going to be there to help you? Because that's the point. The scriptures say, woe to him that is left alone. Right? Destruction to him that is left alone. Think about how many people were out there left alone that didn't have a spot that they can go to escape the flood. They just have to ride it out.
They couldn't hit nobody up for any advice, any
right.
y'all may have.
Right, anything. They couldn't hit them up for food, water. They couldn't hit them up to escape. They had to sit in their house, ride it out, get flooded, and then barely could get rescued. Think about that. Because they put themselves in a position where they say, you know what, I don't need nobody.
Right.
I don't got to congregate with nobody. I don't got to deal with nobody. It's just me, myself, and I. I'm going to do this alone. I'm going to ride it out. Go ahead.
Read verse 3.
And say not, who shall control me for my work?
And that's the mind frame. Who shall control me? Who can tell me what to do? It's me, myself, and I. I'm going to do what I want to do. The Most High is not dealing with that. And he's showing us through history and right now. You will not survive by yourself. The Most High is causing you, making you to humble your mind and to understand order. To understand that having a body around you is necessary. Being obedient to his word is necessary for safety. But this is what happens to those people that don't do that. Read.
For the Lord will surely revenge thy pride.
Because that's exactly what it is pride. Because everybody wants to do their own thing. Israel wants to do it in the wilderness. Israel wants to do it after Moses, before Moses. They want to do exactly what they wanted to do. But read that again.
And say not, who shall control me for my works? For the Lord will surely revenge thy pride.
The Most High is going to revenge your mind. He's going to revenge your actions, your works that you did, because they were disobedient. You resisted the powers that the Most High has put over you. People don't understand that. The Most High has put men over you. You're resisting him. You're not, once again, like it says in the scriptures, it says, whosoever therefore resisted the power, this is Romans 13 verse 2, resist the ordinances of God. You're resisting what the Most High is putting down. And if you read your Bible, Israel's been doing that all the time.
You know what the sad thing is? These people resist what works. How you gonna resist what works and go your own way? That's the problem with our people. We always want to think that we got the method, but we don't. Because if we did, a lot of us wouldn't end up in a predicament. And it's not just about this flood. It's about a mind state. You got brothers, man, that it's sad because they want to do the truth the way they want to do the truth. Right. Like, I'm gonna only show up when I want this type of counsel. Or my rib is tripping, this is when I'm gonna show up. Right. And then they leave, and then she trips more. And they don't get it that, like, if you stuck around and put your ass to work, right, put your hand to the plow, she would probably stop tripping. She would probably actually submit. But since you want to do things the way you want to do it, the Most High is going to push you through that cycle of she tripped, you come. She trips, you come. She trips until you change something. Like, that's insanity to think that your method is the same method is going to produce different results. Quality control, baby. Quality control. Where you at?
Maybe go to verse 4.
Go back to Romans.
Romans chapter 13.
Go back to Romans 13.
You want me to go to 2 or continue at 3?
Go. Where were you at?
Just finished 2 at 3.
Go to verse 3.
Romans chapter 13 and verse 3.
Right.
For rulers are not a terror to good works.
Yeah. We wasn't hitting nobody up like, oh, you doing good? What the hell are you doing? The only time a text went out, or in this situation, was what? It's like, no, y'all make sure y'all do it like this. Y'all gotta leave, make sure y'all send a text so we know where everybody's at, so we can have an account. It's just like at your job. Is your boss down your throat when you doing the job right? Nah, but as soon as you mess up, what? That's when the threats of write-ups. We're gonna have to let you go because you're not fulfilling your job duties, right? Ain't no job gonna be, ain't no boss on you when you're doing the right thing. But as soon as you start going off path and doing your own method, that's when that correction gotta come in. Go ahead.
But to the evil.
Yeah, they gonna be on that evil work. They gonna be a terror on that evil work. They gonna be correcting that evil. Go ahead.
Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power?
Go ahead.
Do what? Do that which is good.
Do what?
Do that which is good.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt have praise of the same.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem with a lot of brothers and sisters, man. They don't want to do what's good. So they want to hide so nobody can see. They want to hide out and not come around and come around when they want and make their... How you going to make your own Israelite schedule? It don't make no damn sense. It don't make sense. Like, I'm gonna have to work y'all around my schedule. I'm gonna pencil y'all in. It don't make sense, man. But see, like it says in verse 2, this is where that damnation comes. Because you know what you're supposed to be doing. You know what you're supposed to be doing. But since you choose not to do it, the Most High is like, well, I'm going to have to just show you. I'm going to have to show you how real it can get. Go ahead.
Verse 4. For he is the minister of God to thee for good.
Go ahead.
But if thou do that which is evil,
go ahead.
Be afraid.
Yeah, you don't have to be afraid. Go ahead.
For he bears not the sword in vain.
Yeah. The Most High didn't send this damn storm in vain. He didn't send Harvey to Texas in vain, bro. If y'all didn't see it. Louisiana ain't getting hit in vain. All the things that's happening out in this world ain't for a vain purpose. Cats getting their damn heads blown off, all them killings in Chicago. It ain't happening for a vain reason. There is a reason behind it because Negroes don't want to do the right thing. The so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian man don't want to do what's right in the eyes of the Most High. They don't want to do what they're supposed to be doing towards the Most High. They want to do things on their time. They want to do things when they want to do it. Right?
God.
But see, the Most High said it don't work like that. You need to be afraid. If that's going to be your mind state, you best be afraid. Because when that sword come out, it ain't coming out for no reason. It ain't going to be where I'm just flashing the gun to scare you. You know, I cast did that back in the day. They pull up their shirt to show they had the gun. Nah, bruh. Nah, this is going to come out with the intent to kill.
I'm going to pistol whip you and shoot you.
Yeah, you're going to get gun butted, shot, kidnapped, thrown off a roof, all that. The Most High ain't playing. Read on.
For he is the minister of God, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil.
He does what? Go ahead.
Execute wrath upon him that doeth evil.
That's why when you read in Ezekiel, he said he's beginning at his sanctuary first. He's gonna start that ass whooping on his sanctuary, his people first.
That's Peter, right?
In Ezekiel.
You talking about Ezekiel 9:4?
Yeah.
Don't go there. We're gonna go there.
I'm jumping, I'm sorry. But no, he's gonna basically start it with his people first. Why? Because he's tired of playing. Everybody, Israel through the whole scriptures has been known to play the harlot from start to finish, and he's getting tired of it. How long do we have to be hard-headed and keep getting our ass whooped to realize that the Most High ain't playing with us?
Read that last verse again. That last precept.
The last precept.
Uh-huh.
A revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil.
Yeah, because like the scriptures say, there be spirits that are created for vengeance. So if y'all don't see that Harvey was created for vengeance, the scripture in Romans is telling us right here. The Most High is exacting his revenge on that disobedience. He's exacting his revenge on this homosexuality. What's up, sis, Jasmine?
With Arias, what do you mean by Israel playing the harlot? Like specifically, what is it like with?
Well, when it talks about Israel playing the harlot, think about a harlot. A harlot does what? She hops from man to man to man. So it's the same thing we did when we decided we wanted to hop from God, from Christianity to Muslim to Buddhism to 5%ism. Is that an ism? I want to be a 5%er. I want to be a God body. I want to be this. I want to be that. But never ever saying, let me go to the Most High. Oh, I had that. Mm-hmm. No, is it? Wait, which one? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I did. I can't say that. No, it's not that one. There's another one. Yeah, I think so. We're going to get the scripture. No, that's not it. There's one about, it's in my brain, it's in Ezekiel. But yeah, that's what it's talking about. Us we left off the Most High, we left off of our first love and decided that we want to be with everything else out in the streets. We made everything else our God. We made the drugs, the cars, the money. We made our women the men. We made our women our gods, right? And didn't give the credit to the Most High. So that's what it's talking about us playing the harlot. That's what a harlot does. She just man to man to man, right?
God.
That's one of them. That's not it though. That's one of them. I'm gonna find it. It's gonna pop in my head. But where we at?
Romans chapter 13 and verse 5.
That's it on that.
God.
That's it on that. Jump down. So we see, man, that the rebelliousness, that lack of obedience, the Most High don't look kindly on that. So, when we go back to Revelation 7 real quick. And verse 3. So we know the angel Christ, he says this. Go ahead.
Saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea,
right,
nor the trees.
So don't hurt the earth, the people, or the men. Go ahead.
Till we have sealed the servant of our God in their forehead.
Right, until the servants are sealed. So we got to go back and look. How does one become sealed to where when this destruction hits, it passes right by you. Well, one of the things that we did was what? We communicated. We had that communication amongst one another. Man, my phone was, listen, I was on the phone the whole 4 days just hitting up people. Random people that weren't even in the camp. Hitting them up, seeing if they were all right. Hitting up people that used to come to the class. Seeing if they needed a ride or whatever it was.
Chapter 3, verse 16.
Read loud with power.
We got a question on. I just somebody just sent me a question. I'm gonna get.
16.
Go ahead.
Then the Spirit of the Lord spake often.
So they were obedient. Go ahead.
Spake often.
They did what?
Spake often.
So when this storm was going on, what did we do?
What? Spake often.
Right. Even before the storm, what did we do?
Spake often.
We spake often. Go ahead.
One to another.
Go ahead.
And the Lord hearkened and heard it.
Yeah, see, the Most High heard the communication. He looked down like, damn, these dudes is communicating. All right, they're trying to protect one another. He hearkened. Go ahead.
And a book of remembrance was written before him.
Yeah, we're going to be remembered for that. But besides that, the Most High blessed the communication. He said, okay, they communicate, they look it out, they're making sure that each other is good. I'm going to make sure no harm comes. Go ahead.
You had places in Houston, houses in Houston. Actually, my niece, she went to her grandma's house. They had no electricity for 4 days. No electricity, no internet. Just think about it. We had electricity, we had internet, we had AC, we had everything we needed. But why?
Because of our communication. That's one. Because of our communication. The Most High hearkened onto the communication. That's the unity. When you read in Psalms 133, the Most High said he commanded the blessing in the unity of the brethren, of the sisters. Go to Hebrews 3 and 16. 13, 16. Yeah. I didn't have this one there because we always hit it, but I decided to just throw it in.
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 16. But to do good and to communicate.
See, to do good and to communicate, they go hand in hand. Go ahead.
Forget not.
Yeah, we definitely couldn't have forgot this. Because guess what? When did we start actually preparing for the storm?
Friday.
On the day of. We didn't even know it was going to hit. Brothers be so busy. It's like, man, we ain't got time to be checking no weather. We just got to know it's going to be sunny enough for us to do flyers. You know what I'm saying? Is the sun going to be out so we can do flyers and then do class. But when they start emptying the mall out and all this stuff was happening and people was running around frantic, what did we do? What's up, sis?
Look, now that you say that, because there was a lady at my job, I mean, her house got flooded, but she told me, she was like, yeah, the storm. I was like, the storm? I was like,
right.
What are y'all talking about? I'm like, I didn't hear anything.
Right.
She's like, yeah, it's supposed to hit. And I'm like, she's like, I'm going to Oklahoma. I'm like, well, I'm going to go home and go to sleep. I don't know what you're going to do.
No, listen, we were doing flyers on Wednesday, and a bro was like, yeah, I got to leave out of here for the weekend. I was like, oh, where you about to go at? Where you about to go? He's like, I'm about to go up to Dallas. I don't know what I'm going to find when I get back. I'm like, huh? What you mean? He was like, a storm's supposed to hit. I was like, okay. God. And thought nothing of it until Friday. You know, but the point is, and it's going to go into the next point. The point is, when disaster struck, did anybody panic? Was there like how they do in the world? It's like, damn, let me go empty out my bank account, spend all the money on whores and drugs, and then because I ain't gonna be around to pay it back. You know, that thinking. Let me get into panic mode and just run around with like a chicken with the head cut off. Did anybody do that? No. There was order. There was structure.
There was calm.
There was calm.
There was like,
even though I was sending out so many messages, what I had to come back and say, this ain't to scare nobody. This is to make sure everyone's safe.
right.
to make sure that everybody's accounted for, because it's easy to lose a person in the mix of all the chaos that's going around that we're in the middle of, because there's chaos all around us. That's what we got to remember. It's always chaotic around us. Just like the storm. What happened? It was nothing but chaos around us. And the Most High just nestled us in, right? He had us like in the Truman Show. He just put the shield over us. And we looking up at the sky like, damn, is it ever going to stop raining? Bro, I walked that White House so many times like, is it ever going to stop? It felt like it was about to just 40 days and 40 nights of flood. You know, but then I had to come back and say, damn, you know, the Most High, through all of it, is just rain that we get.
That's what I mean. When you look at it from the inside, looking outside, that's what it looked like to us.
Yeah, because I didn't know what the extent of the damage was around. Because in our immediate area, like if I wanted to, did you not drive to my house one night? Yeah, it got a little, taking on a little extra rain in the parking lot, and just for safety, we were like, okay, let's go get them, right? And even that went through smooth. Middle of the night, not knowing what to really expect, but what was it? Okay, two brothers go ahead, take this vehicle. Brothers mapped out a path, communicated through the whole process, right? Text messages, pictures of the road. Look, this was going on. All right, go that way, don't go that way. Yeah, do it, don't do it, right? It was constant communication. It was constant following of what was being said, and not a man just taking it upon himself to do his own thing. See, that's where we get messed up at. That's where the rebellious get cut off at. Because they say, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to do what it is that I want to do at the time, and let's just see what happens. But see, we can't play with that. Because let's see what happens will get your ass in a sinkhole. Let's see what happens will get you driving around in a damn four-door sedan and get your whole engine flooded.
Or you're trapped in the car.
Or you trapped in the car and nobody knows, because guess what? You didn't communicate.
Right.
And that's the point. Read on.
Come, for with such sacrifice God is well pleased.
Hold on, repeat that again.
For with such sacrifice God is well pleased.
No, read that last piece up again.
For with such sacrifice God is well pleased.
So what is it really saying? I mean, is it really crucial that you just send a quick text message out like, shalom brother, shalom sister, hey, I'm going up the street. I'm gonna go grab food.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's nothing death defying. It's communication. What's the worst that's going to happen? The brother or sister says, no, I was already up that street, don't go this way. I went to go, me and the sister, I took her to go get some groceries one morning. First thing I did before I sent out my text that I'm going to go get groceries, I hit this brother up and I said, hey, which way did you take to go in that neighborhood? He said, I went this way, don't go that way. I said, Con, I'm going to go the way you spoke. And as we traveled, the sister, she was like, listen, I know a shorter cut and it should be dry. I said, let's do it. The way we took around the same area that he said not to go past, we went past, and we didn't go down that area that he told us to stay from. We were safe. To and from. It didn't even look like, it just looked like we were just going through a rainstorm. That was it.
Let me ask y'all a question. The scriptures say with that sacrifice, the Most High is well pleased, right? So in our situation of this storm, where was the sacrifice? Who knows?
Say it again? Who said that?
Pride, ego. Like, oh, I'm gonna do it my way, oh, I'm alright, I'm good.
Well, the sacrifice was really this. Everybody's running around trying to get their water, trying to get their gas. The sacrifice was, are you going to forget or not to communicate? Because it would have been easy to forget to communicate. Y'all see what I'm saying? Where it's like, damn, I'm running around doing this, trying to handle 50 million things, and it's like, damn, I forgot to send a text real quick to let everybody know I'm over here. Don't go this way. That's where the sacrifice is, where the Most High is like, with such sacrifices, the Most High is well pleased. That's why he says, to communicate, forget not. See, because in that moment, it would have been easy to forget. It would have been easy to be like, damn, I got so much things. I ain't got no food in the house. I ain't got enough water containers. That was me. I had no food in the house and no water containers. Not enough to sustain for days. So it would have been easy to not communicate throughout the whole midst of everything. Like, damn, so much is going on. I got to check this. I got to check that. I got to hit this, bro. It would have been easy to say, damn, I just forgot to communicate. But see, the Most High is well pleased in the fact that it's like, let me communicate first, then handle business.
Right.
That's where the blessing comes. What's up?
You know, that's funny how you said it's easy to forget, because I did forget. But even in my forgetfulness, I called you on accident.
Yeah, but and I was like, I can't hear you, bro. But then I was like, oh, he's probably out. But I couldn't hear you. Yeah, but even in that.
I was like, I text you back, and then, you know, I told you what was going down. Called you back.
Right.
I have the definition of sacrifice.
Go ahead.
I have two definitions. I'm going to pull the one from, this is dictionary.com. Sacrifice, it says the surrender or destruction of something prized. And what's prized is your own mind, your own ego.
Or what you had to do at the time. Well, I had to get water. I had to get food. I had to go grocery shop. I had to get gas. The line was long.
Right.
My phone died. All these different things where, just communicate so the Most High can bless us. Communicate so you can be preserved. But see, then you got the ones where you hit them up and their phone go right to voicemail.
Right.
You hit them up, text, no answer till this day. I'm still waiting on some brothers to hit me back. Right? But see, those are the ones that's catching it. Those are the ones that, again, can't control their will, can't control their household, can't control themselves. No self-control, no obedience, because why? You don't stick around long enough for a brother to be like, listen, don't do it like that, do it like this.
Because you ever brought your own disobedience and subjection.
You was falling and you still trying to. Why? Is because you're not listening to the men that have the
situations to relax situations just perfectly joined together. Oh shit! We hear the horns blowing. Okay, we got to make sure the brothers get linked up together, and we got a brother in every household. Okay, cool. We're gonna stop calling this one big vehicle, and we're gonna go to San Antonio and get with them. I mean, it's that easy. We do it so much. We do it so often. 5 days a week, right? Together from 7 to 9, 3 hours. We still get together.
And then now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Yeah, y'all gotta wake the hell up. The Most High said, you gotta know the time. If you don't see the time now, when are you gonna see it? It says the Jews require a sign. Well, guess what? There's like 20 million tons of water out there. There's your sign. There's like 100,000 houses that are flooded. People there's your sign. The sign was above your head for 3 days. Houston, we have a problem. But the sign was twirling above your head for 3 days, pelting you with rain. Tons and tons. They said that it was so much rain, they could run Niagara Falls for 17 days with the amount of rain that fell in Houston. And now, if y'all never seen Niagara Falls, it is one of the 8 wonders of the world.
It's like 11 trillion. No, it was like 20 trillion tons of water.
Listen, they said it was enough.
In Houston, just in Houston.
They said it was enough to run Niagara Falls for 17 days. Now, if y'all understand what Niagara Falls does and how much water flows through that per second, look it up. Niagara Falls ain't no small thing. It ain't no little baby waterfall. All right, it's Niagara Falls. It's more than one. That thing powers cities. If y'all didn't know that, Niagara Falls is a dam that powers cities around it. Electricity. They said the amount of water that fell on Houston in 3 days can power Niagara Falls and run it for 17 days. It's a lot of water. Read on.
For now it is our salvation nearer than we were when we believe.
Read it from the top. And make sure you read it clear and with some power.
And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Yeah, it's time for Houston to wake the hell up. Get up off your scissor, put the weed down, put down the garbage 40 malt liquors, right? Get up from under your woman, wake the hell up. Even if you ain't in Houston, wake the hell up. Get from under your woman, she ain't God. Put down the blunt, it ain't God. Put down the drink, it ain't God. And come serve the Most High. Because why? Read on.
For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe.
Yeah, for some. That salvation is nearer than we know. It's going to be your salvation or your destruction. That's the point. Some are going to be saved, but some ain't. Go ahead.
Verse 12. The night is far spent.
Yeah, you done had your party time, man. You done did your thing. The night is far spent. Go ahead.
The day is at hand.
Go ahead.
Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness.
Yeah, you need to put away that old man. You need to start learning how to communicate, how to gather together, how to kill your pride, how to have some humility in situations, how to be taught. Sisters, y'all gotta learn how to submit to your husbands. If you're not already, you gotta learn what your role is. Go ahead.
And let us put on the armor of light.
And put on the what?
The armor of light.
Yeah, you need to put on this wisdom. You need to put on this wisdom and put away the wisdom of the world. Because the wisdom of the world ain't got you nothing. That's what we got to understand. The wisdom of the world has done nothing for you but hurt you. Made you depressed. Made you sad. But now it's time to put on the armor of light. Go ahead.
Verse 13. Let us walk honestly.
We got to be honest with ourselves and with one another. And see, this is the point that throughout all the communication, there was this sober-mindedness that we all had. There was this clarity that we all had of what needs to get done, what's important, right? And how it should be done. Go ahead.
As in the day, not in rioting.
Go ahead.
And drunkenness.
Yeah. Like, you got cats out there, it start raining in their neighborhood. What the first thing they want to do is go run and play in it barefoot. Like, you dummy. What if you would have you step on something in that water and you can't see? Then what? You in a hole and then you can't get to the hospital because you flooded in. Fool. So you want to run to the riot and drunkenness. You want to get you a 30-pack and to sit in the Go ahead.
Envying.
Yeah. Get your ass shot. Come on, man. That's retardism at its finest. Go ahead.
God. But put ye on the Lord Yahushai and make not provision for the flesh.
Go ahead. Yeah. Stop making them excuses why you can't do what you're supposed to do. Why you can't come together with brothers, with sisters. Why you can't be around. Stop making provisions for them BS excuses and just do what the hell you got to do. So you don't end up in the destruction. Go ahead.
To fulfill the lust thereof.
Go to 1 Peter 1 and 13. Go to 1 Peter. See, this is how, in verse 14 where it says, put on the Lord, this is how you do it. 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 13. Go ahead.
1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 13.
Go ahead.
Wherefore, gird up thy loins of your mind.
Yeah, we're supposed to be girded up in the mind, man. We all supposed to be up in here studied up. But see, you know why things were so smooth for us? Because our minds were already programmed to know, in the face of disaster, this is what we're going to do. We're going to turn to the order. We're going to turn to the communication. But see, for them out there in the world, for the rebellious, for the disobedient, their minds aren't girded up in anything wise. They're girded up in that niggerism, in the niggerdom, in the I'm going to do what I want to do, when I want to do it. In the no, it's all about me. That's what they're girded in. They don't got no light. Go ahead.
Be sober.
Be what?
Be sober.
Gotta be sober. See, we had that, like I said, we had that sober-mindedness about us. Where it's like, okay, the water stations are full, because we all needed water, right?
Come on.
It was like, listen, I went to the water station at like 9 o'clock at night. There was one person there with like 25-gallon jugs.
Dude.
Bro. So I had to use the thinker and say, am I going to sit in line when I got other things to do? Nah. Brothers got alkaline machines at their house. What's the first thing I did? Hop on the text. Hey, who got a water bottle that's extra? And sis, I'm coming to your house to fill up. Right? The sober mind. But a chaotic mind would have been like, well, damn, let me just drive around to every water station to get water. And waste gas and sit in line. Bro, one person literally had 25-gallon jugs. Bro, yeah, she had like, I sat there and counted it. And she was one person in line. There was like 10 other people behind her. And there was another line on the other side. You know how the water stations have two sides where you can fill? Bro, I was like, damn, she's getting water for a lifetime. But see, even her mind wasn't sober because it's like 20 gallons, unless she had a house full of like 30 people that I could see. Where she was, but even us, we had what, 5, what we had, 5, we only went through 5 gallons of drinking water. Yeah, bro. For some reason, I don't know what happened, but the was like, it was crazy because usually a gallon, gone in like a day and a half.
Watch, I still got 2 gallons that we bought that Friday.
Yeah, I still got 2 full 5 gallons. Yeah, bro, it's crazy. The Most High just he calm, but that's the thing. See that sober mind and that rioting, because you like I ain't gonna lie, bro. I sat at my house and I was eating, and that's like the most I've ate in a long time because it's like damn. Just like sitting there, like it's like you read the Bibles, you watch your movies, you're like, damn, I'm hungry. And then you complete a task, you're like, I'm hungry. Right? But it could have got to the point where you just eating to the point and drinking up everything, and I was sitting back like, damn, okay, I gotta chill because this rain ain't looking like it's letting up, and I don't want to drive. So let me not eat the whole house down so that way there ain't nothing in the house. That's sober-mindedness. Those sober thoughts have to kick in. Because you could be a beast in your house and just run through all the food, all the water, and then be like, damn, I still got 4 more days of this crap. Because I'm thinking like, okay, what if the water is contaminated, the water stations? It's flooding. Those might flood. What if those get contaminated?
Right.
The food. Ain't no food in the stores. They talking about it's going to rain till Thursday. Right? I'm like, okay, let me chill.
Ease up.
Let me ease up. Yeah, let me ration. You know what I mean? That's that sober-mindedness that we all had to have to make it through, man. But see, out in the world, they ain't about that. They're about, let me get what I can get now, let me consume it now, and then I'm going to go back and riot and loot and get what I can get. Go, what verse you at?
1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13.
Go ahead.
And hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Yahushua.
Go ahead.
As obedient children.
As what?
Obedient children.
As lustful men.
Obedient children.
As niggas with no laws.
Obedient children.
Yeah. As obedient children. Go ahead.
Not fashioning yourselves according to the former lust in your ignorance.
Right. See, that's the thing. We weren't rolling around just being ignorant, being lustful. We had to we daily cast off that old man. But see, the problem with them out there, that old man, man, he just like, yeah, I'm gonna be the old man and the new man. Wow. I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna be an ignorant nigga, lustful, carnal, right? There was something. I mean, I don't know if y'all seen it, man. There was something. I don't know if y'all there was just something magical. It was something spiritual. I hate using the word magical, but it was just something spiritual about even the way the communication was, the way it was going, and the response and the, you know what I'm saying? Like
it wasn't grievous.
Yeah, there was no grievous. It was like, damn, we gotta do that. Nah. Well, yeah, you got to do that because why?
I think it was scared.
Because it wasn't even that. I don't think it was a scare thing. I think it was more of a, okay, listen, this is not some man trying to exact his pride over, like the scriptures say, taking oversight of the flock, but not by restraint, not for filthy lucre, right? Nobody was trying to gain anything by saying, listen, get gas over here, get this filled up, get this amount of water, do this, do that. Nobody would do. What was there to gain? Nothing. There was nothing to gain but everybody's security and safety. Yeah. Go to, what time is it? 9:15. Go to Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 16 and verse 20.
Isaiah chapter 16, verse 20.
Go ahead.
Wait, Isaiah chapter 16?
Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 16.
Isaiah chapter 1, verse 16.
Actually, read. Damn, where is it? Romans, Luke, Proverbs. Go to Isaiah chapter 1. Start at verse. Salakia. 1 and verse. Is that it? I said Isaiah 1 and 16, right? Yeah. No. No, yeah. Read verse 16.
Isaiah chapter 1, verse 16.
Go ahead.
Wash you, make you clean.
Go ahead.
Put away the evil of your doings from before mine eyes.
Go ahead.
Cease to do evil.
See, and this is the mentality that we're supposed to have. We're supposed to be putting off that old man and putting on that new man. We're supposed to be getting cleaned up. Right? Before destruction hits. This is what we're supposed to be doing. Because there's a reason. Go ahead.
Learn to do well.
Learn what?
Learn to do well.
Go ahead.
Seek judgment.
Yeah, you're supposed to be seeking counsel. Communication. Go ahead.
Relieve the oppressed.
Go ahead.
Judge the fatherless.
Go ahead.
Plead for the widows.
Go ahead.
Come now and let us reason together, saith the Lord.
Let us do what?
Reason together, saith the Lord.
Go ahead.
Though your sins be as scarlet.
Yeah, though your sins is red like scarlet. They're there. Go ahead.
They shall be as white as snow.
Yeah. Them sins are going to be erased through your obedience. Go ahead.
Though they be red like crimson.
Go ahead.
They shall be as wool.
Go ahead.
If ye be willing and obedient.
If what?
If ye be willing and obedient.
Go ahead.
Ye shall eat the good of the land.
Yeah, see, this is what the Most High is telling us. If we are obedient, we're going to eat the good of the land. If you're obedient and you catch Harvey, guess what? You're going to have enough food, enough water in your house to sustain you. Ain't no water going to hit you.
I got more food in my refrigerator than I did before Harvey.
God.
And I don't be spending no money on
God. I got more food. That's the thing. It was like I told my rib, I was like, just get whatever we don't eat, it's just gonna be there for food. Like we ain't gotta worry about that. And there's food in there. Surplus. I mean, we gotta think about it. It's not even just our homes. Look at the school, bro. I wish y'all could see it. We are right next to, like literally, 20 feet away, 30 feet is I don't even know what you call it.
It's a reservoir. Well,
it's a reservoir.
A creek, yeah.
A creek.
A
but it's not small. It's big. What is that? What would you say that is across?
It was a river a few days ago.
Bruh, yeah, it was a river a few days ago, but the beautiful thing is, listen, it didn't even overflood. Listen, we got water in the school, and that's the condensation from the damn AC tripping in the bathroom. Yeah, I wish he could put that photo. Bruh, if y'all understand that the Most High not only preserved the households, but the building that we teach out of. Why? Because we're obedient to his work. Because we ain't in here just got stripper poles and collecting people's money for no reason and doing things and consuming things on our lust. We out here actually putting in work in this school. We use the school for a lot of different things. See, a lot of brothers and sisters be like, man, how y'all know y'all got the truth? How y'all know y'all got the truth? We ain't saying that we the only ones with the truth, but we know that if it's not of the Most High, it ain't gonna stand. Wouldn't this have been the perfect time for it to fall?
Gone.
If it wasn't of the Most High? Wouldn't it have been the perfect time to just destroy the building? Let it flood so we have to just vacate? This would have been the perfect time. But the Most High was like, nope, watch me work. Watch me show y'all. Bro, that place is always empty. That damn ditch. That thing was up to the level where it was about to overflood. 2 more days of rain, it would have been a wrap. But it ain't happened. And so many other creeks overflooded. So many other, I'm talking about, bro, highways. If y'all don't see these highways out here, it look like
it was like 30 feet of water.
30, 50 feet. They look like rivers. But the point is, we right here next to one, and it never hit us. Because why? The scriptures say, if you be willing and obedient. Because we ain't here trying to do what? We trying to take those crimson sins and make them wool. We over here trying to turn our sins to snow. We trying to make it as if they didn't happen. Through our obedience, through our work, through our communication, through our listening, through our subjection to one another, through the powers that be. Right? That's what we're trying to do. But to those that's not doing that, we're going to get to it. I know y'all do. Go to Ezekiel 9:4 real quick. See, because we're talking about how is one sealed from the destruction.
Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4.
How is one sealed from all the things that are bound to happen, all the things that's going to happen in Ecclesiastes 31 down. How is one sealed? It's through small things. You got to have communication. Certain out in these streets. Read.
Ezekiel chapter 9.
Go ahead.
Of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
See, the men that sigh and cry, the brothers that teach against the homosexuality and all the abominations that this place is doing, those are the brothers and sisters that get that seal. The ones that preach against it and stay obedient and don't fall off, they're the ones that get that seal. Y'all get that? But the ones that have that lack of disobedience, go back to Isaiah 1 in verse 19. I know you got
Isaiah chapter 1 verse 19.
Go ahead.
If ye be willing and obedient,
go ahead.
Ye shall eat the good of the land.
Yeah, if you're willing and obedient, you're going to eat the good of the land. But see, there's a flip side. The Most High got balance. Read on.
Verse 20.
Go ahead.
But if ye refuse and rebel.
But if you do what?
Refuse and rebel.
Yeah, you want to be to yourself. Oh, I can't come around. I can't be with y'all. We don't need teachers in schools. You refuse. If you refuse to come together, if you refuse to follow orders, you refuse to be subject to the powers that be,
to the Most High ordained.
That the Most High ordained. Bottom line is this: you refuse to subject yourself to wisdom. Because that's what brothers do all the time. They ask you a question like, "How do I do with my rib?" And you give them this whole elaborate breakdown, and they just do whatever. The nigger comes out in them as soon as she raises her voice. He forget all the scriptures and the whole breakdown you gave him, and he just start yelling and beating her up. It's like, bruh, I just gave you all the wisdom on how to deal with your woman. Nowhere in there did it say, dot her eye and punch her in the belly. Nowhere it says that. So those that refuse and rebel, read.
Ye shall be devoured with the sword.
Yeah, you got sucked up in Harvey. Your whole house got flooded out. You getting devoured, man. You getting devoured by these spirits that are sent to devour you. Read on.
For the mouth of the Lord has spoken.
Yeah, the Most High said it's going to happen. Read.
How is the faithful city become an harlot?
Go ahead.
It was full of judgment.
Go ahead.
Righteousness lodged in it, but now murderers.
Yeah. How did the faithful city, it says, how did the faithful city become a harlot? How do you got all this wisdom and you don't know what to do with it? How are you here 1 minute, putting in the work, and next minute, you just cast off, man? That's what the Most High is asking. Read on.
Thy silver is become dross.
Go ahead.
Thy wine mixed with water.
You water down Israelite. You show up when you want. You don't believe no more. Go ahead.
Thy princes are rebellious.
Go ahead.
And companions of thieves.
Go ahead.
Everyone loveth gifts. And followeth after reward.
Everything about you is just lust and what you can gain. Go ahead.
They judge not the fatherless.
Yeah, you're not there. The scriptures say be the father to the fatherless, but you just care about your own household. You don't want to give that wisdom. Go ahead.
Neither doeth the cause of the widow come unto them.
Go ahead.
Therefore, said the Lord of hosts, the mighty one of Israel, I will ease me of mine adversary and avenge me of my enemies.
Jump down to verse 28.
Verse 28. And the destruction of the transgressors and of the sinners shall be together.
You see that? The destruction of the transgressors and of the sinners shall be together. Read on.
And they that forsake the Lord.
Yeah, those that forsake the gathering, like the scriptures say, forsake not the gathering of yourselves together. Those that forsake the gathering, that forsake the wisdom, that forsake the counsel, that forsake the communication. Hey, brother, how you doing? And you don't get no response. Them that forsake the sisterhood, you forsake all the little meetings that we have, the sisters meeting, the garment meeting, brothers getting together on a Sunday. You forsake these things, read on.
Shall be consumed.
Yeah. Now you see why you're in a hole, man. Now you see why everything around you is falling. You didn't build yourself that foundation. Now you like that little rebellious kid that's running around getting his ass whooped. Getting beat up by all the bullies.
God.
All these spirits are just tag teaming you. Right?
God.
Go to Ezekiel 9 and 5.
Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 5.
Right? So we know the Most High said, read verse 4.
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord said unto him,
go ahead.
Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
Go ahead. And
to the others he said in my hearing, Go ye after through the city and smite.
And do what?
And smite.
This is what's going to happen to that rebellious person. Go ahead.
Let not your eyes spare, neither have he pity.
Yeah. Ain't nobody going to pity you, man. The Most High is not going to have pity. He's not going to spare you because you have your chance. The scriptures say rehearse the righteous acts, right? When are we supposed to rehearse them when Christ comes? Is that when you're going to decide to rehearse? Nah, bro. The rehearsal is now. The play is when Christ comes. He is the director, the author, the writer, the producer. He like Lauryn Hill on Miseducation. He like the orchestrator, he everything. You just gotta show up. What you gotta say? You just gotta show up. But you gonna show up without knowing your part? You gonna show up and not know your lines?
Better not.
You better not. You gonna be fired. You gonna find a new co-star. You gonna be fired. That's the thing. You're gonna be fired.
Yeah, give me Luke chapter 19 verse 27. Speaking of Christ, this is what he's gonna do to you. Read that. Read with some power.
Luke chapter 19 verse 25.
So all those that didn't want to be obedient, all those that didn't want to hearken to the counsel of verse 27. All those that wanted to do their own thing, this is what Christ is going to do to you. Read.
But those my enemies.
He said, those who?
My enemies.
Why? Read.
Which would not that I should reign over them.
Because you didn't want to listen to what the Most High had for you, what Christ brought down. You didn't want to listen to the order. You didn't want to listen to the instruction that he gave from the elders, all the prophets that was walking around butt naked, eating
dung
cakes for you. This is what he's going to do. Read.
Bring hither.
Bring where?
Bring hither.
Read.
And slay them before me.
Yeah, he's going to kill you. He's not playing. This is the spirit of the Most High through Christ.
You know what's cold about that? Christ said, my enemy. Think about it. When you don't want to do certain things, you become an enemy of the Most High in Christ. When you don't want to communicate, you become an enemy. When you don't want to receive counsel, you become an enemy. When you don't want to gather together, you become an enemy of Christ. You got to see that. It's real.
It's either you get with the program or get washed away in the flood.
It's either get down or lay down, stay prop. Right? Get down or lay down. You're like beating seagulls and stay property. Get down or lay down. But it's real. The Most High said, Christ said, my enemy, that would not that I reign over them, bring him hither and slay them. Jump back to Ezekiel. Let me finish that real quick. Okay, you good. It goes right with it.
Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 6.
Go ahead.
Slay utterly old and young.
Slay what?
Utterly old and young.
Because you got young disobedient Negroes and you got old disobedient Negroes that didn't want to listen. I call them old fools. Me and the sister was just talking about that, about like our parents. When you gotta think about it, man. A lot of us got the wisdom, the knowledge, and you gotta counsel your parents. You gotta counsel a person that's older than you. And I'm not even talking about people in the truth. I'm talking about a person that's out in the world, just wilding out, doing stupid, making dumb moves, and you got to counsel them in a way where you don't want to come off rude or disrespectful, but you got to give them advice, and they're like, damn. Yeah, because you got old fools. My mom's an old fool. My dad's an old fool. I tell them that, they know they are. And I pointed out the way I pointed out is through the mistakes they continue to make. You shouldn't be 60 years old making the same mistakes you made at 30. You're supposed to be learning from your mistakes. So I pointed out the mistakes and the fact that they don't listen when things is dropped to them. They don't listen. But that's why the Most High said, slay utterly, old and young. Go ahead.
Both maid and little children.
Both what?
Maid and little children.
Go ahead.
And women.
And who?
And women.
Yeah, you women, y'all ain't exempt. The Most High is not a respecter of persons. What y'all think? Y'all don't get by y'all pretty looks? Christ gonna come and like lust after y'all or something? What y'all think? Nah. Y'all fall right in this. Old, young, women, children. Go ahead.
But come not near any man upon whom is the mark.
You see that? It's just like Harvey. The Most High was like, man, don't mess with these brothers because they don't want to work. Not saying that we're like the 144,000 sealed. I'm not saying that. But as far as right now, brothers that are putting in the work, because it wasn't just us for this school. I keep with a lot of people on Facebook that live in Houston that are part of ISUPK and different schools. And a lot of their brothers weren't touched. They was moving around, filming different streets flooded and keeping brothers up to date on what was going on. That's where I was getting a lot of my info from. With other brothers in other schools. Because the point is, as long as you put in the work and obedient to the Most High and obedient to whatever program is set up in your school, that's where the Most High preserves. Y'all get that? Go ahead.
But come not near any man upon whom is marked.
Go ahead.
And begin at my sanctuary.
Go ahead. What verse you at?
Verse 6. Then Then they began at the ancient of men, which were before the house. Verse 7. And he said unto them, defile the house.
Go ahead.
And fill the courts with the slain.
Do what?
Fill the courts with the slain.
Think about it. They were able to fill up the courts of the city with the slain. Ain't that what's about to happen? They're about to fill up these morgues when they drain this city. When this city drains out, they're about to fill these morgues up, man, with these dead bodies. Can y'all imagine? Oh, God, can y'all imagine like the disease in the water? I'm just sitting there, I'm like, can y'all imagine like the mosquitoes in that city water? And the pestilence? What's up, Jasmine?
My cousin's co-worker, my cousin's co-worker, her husband, he was helping get my horses off of their land.
Yeah.
And there were ants, like ant beds, whole ant beds just floating in the water. It turns out he was allergic. So he ended up getting bit. He's had to go to the hospital. He's fell into a coma. So there's all types of stuff.
What?
Yep. There's all types of stuff that's in that water.
Weird calamity.
Oh, because, yeah, he probably got bit. It opened up his skin. That water went. Yeah, you got that Galveston water floating up somehow. Galveston water be eating your skin. Right? That's real. It's contaminated with all the filth from the refineries. You gotta think about that, man. Just the settling water that's just sitting in the city. The contamination that's going to seep into the earth. It's going to seep into the soilage, into the soil. Soilage in the word, right? It's an R-L word. It's going to seep. First, it's going to sit there and just breed mosquitoes. Imagine that filthy water, the stink, when the sun comes out and just starts boiling it. And when you do that, and it smells like, well, it's just going to smell like Houston. But, like, on 10. What's up, Edith?
I saw this picture, I don't know if it was real or not, but it was a flood near a building, and it seemed like there was I think it was a hospital, it seemed like there was blood coming out in the waters.
Damn.
Around the building of the hospital. Because it was red.
Yeah. See that? Listen, some of them photos they put up were fake. There was one with a shark driving next to the dude in the car. They put that in every flood. That shark is in every flood, every flooding. Well, the alligator, that was fake also.
The alligator?
Oh, the alligator was real, but they said that it like visited Kate Couric's friend or something. That part of it was fake.
Oh.
But the shark, that was fake.
Gas 879 a gallon.
That was fake. The Houston airport underwater, that was fake. Go, get it.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 13.
Wait. Finish where you at.
Come. Go ye forth. And they went forth.
And
slew in this city.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass.
That's it. It's just like this hurricane, man. The Most High said, go ye forth. Go ahead, do your thing, baby. The hurricane was like a little child that you just let out. It got so much energy. You just like go run in the park. Right? And he just rips through the park. You bring a child to Chuck E. Cheese and he just rips through Chuck E. Cheese.
Tasmanian devil.
Yeah, he like a Tasmanian devil just ripping through this. You know, like you take a kid up into a toy store and you like pick whatever you want. And he just runs through a toy store and everything. He just ripping down shelves. That was Harvey. I was like, man, go to work. Go to work, my son. Go to work, my creation. Just rip through the city, man, and just lay bodies out. But again, there were those of us, the ones that are following the Most High, that are following the orders, that are doing the work. He was like, leave them alone. Let them get some rest. Let them get a couple of days of rest, right? And that's what it turned out to be. A couple of days of well-needed rest. Go ahead.
Give me Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 18 just on that. Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 18. And once again, this is the mind state of the Most High dealing with these disobedient, disloyal, functioning Israelites / heathens in the world. Read that.
The wicked shall be.
Where we at?
Proverbs chapter 21 verse 18.
Read.
The wicked shall be a ransom.
It said the wicked shall be a ransom. A ransom is something to to be paid for something else, something of worth. It says that the wicked is what?
Shall be a ransom.
Read.
For the righteous.
The wicked is a ransom for the righteous. So all the people that died and got affected in the storm was a ransom for you individuals in this class. The ones that didn't get touched, the Most High has your back. He used them to pour out his fierceness and his anger, his indignation upon these wicked people. Read that again.
The wicked shall be a ransom for the righteous.
I want y'all to get that in your mind. It said the wicked shall be a ransom for the righteous. The Most High is not playing.
They basically died so you didn't have to.
Oh.
That's what you gotta look at it as.
Barakatah Yahweh.
But why? Was it because that's just how it is, because it was coincidental? Nah. It's because your faith coupled with your works, coupled with all the other things we've been talking about, your communication, your diligence, your obedience, your sacrifice. It's all these things that the Most High looked upon and said, okay, yeah, you don't gotta die today. You're worthy to be around and continue to do the good that you're doing. Go ahead.
And the transgressors for the upright.
That's it.
What else you got?
Yeah. No, but you got some.
Okay.
Yeah, come on, baby.
Hey, go ahead and give me Ecclesiastes chapter 16 and verse 6. And this is just to show you just the mercy that the Most High has put on us.
Come. Ecclesiasticus chapter 16 and verse 6.
Actually, Slaki. But going back to the... Actually, read that.
In the congregation of the ungodly shall a fire be kindled.
So once again, this is the Most High talking about the ungodly. Those that weren't obedient to his way. Those that didn't want to hearken into his counsel. These are the repercussions of their actions. That's why it's important to be obedient. Read.
And in a rebellious nation, wrath is set on fire.
Once again, the Most High showed that this Texas, Houston, the syrup drinkers, the ones with all their money, all their land, because think about it. The place that they actually had to break that reservoir was in a rich neighborhood. It's on the northwest side of Houston. They had to flood a neighborhood.
Cyprus.
Yeah, that's where the most wealthy people are. The most stubborn, the most prideful, the most disobedient.
But you know what's crazy? They broke the reservoir up there, but it trickled down to what? Greaves Point got smashed. Greaves Point is the hood. Them niggas is off. They don't want to hear a damn thing. They don't want to hear about no Bible, for sure. They want to hear about how they can get more money and eat more pigs.
Right.
That's it. And bang more chicks without having obligations. That's what they want to hear about. Think about, there was another spot that got hit. It was up north. It was down south got hit. But you got to really look at Houston. And you got to look at the areas that was really affected. Oh, I think Sunnyside got hit.
What about Humble? Like out there in
Humble, Texas? I know the highway was finished. I don't know about the actual city.
It was.
Was it?
It was. I got friends that live out there.
Yeah. But even like Sunnyside, that's the hood, right? South side, they got bashed. They got. Because the Most High is like, look, y'all want to wake up? Y'all want to believe in this America? I'm going to show you. Y'all want to, oh man, y'all want to go to Isaiah 30. Woo, it just hit me. I know you had that Isaiah 30, right? Go to Isaiah 30. See, this is what the Most High did. This is what the Most High did to our people. It just hit me right in the brain.
One.
Go to Isaiah 30 and 1. Read that.
Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Woe to the rebellious children.
Yeah. These neighborhoods that got bashed, these rebellious children. Go ahead.
Said the Lord.
Go ahead.
That take counsel, but not of me.
Yeah, see, our people want to take counsel of everything except for the Most High. You want to counsel, Steve Harvey's your counselor. Dr. Phil's does Dr. Phil even have a show?
Yeah, I think so.
But somehow, Oprah's still your counselor and she ain't got no damn show.
Right. Wendy Williams.
Girls Trip. Right? You using all these, Medea, what's the one, Why Did I Get Married? You using these shows to counsel you, but you ain't letting the real counsel get in. Go ahead.
and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
Yeah, you want to cover with everything. You want to cover with Joel Osteen's church. I don't give a damn about you. You want to cover with your Christmas trees? What's up?
He just proved that.
Yeah, he proved that. You know, you can cover all you want, but you ain't gonna cover with my roof. My roof ain't gonna be there to cover you. But instead, you got the black man.
Defending Donald Trump.
Yeah, blacks for Trump. Okay. Osteen's bill. But if you have to worry about it, because guess what? I'm not shocked. All that would have been.
Gone.
Who ain't flooded and who got room?
Gone.
That's all that would have been. Because now we're covering with the Spirit of the Most High through charity, through unity, through brotherhood, through communication.
Gone.
But see, everyone else, where the coming from? Covered. Rely on everything else but the. Go ahead. Sell drugs because you ain't got no money, because the Most High is checking you on your job because you don't show up to class and take care of your rib. So now you're just in this cycle of sin upon sin. The way you get it is sinful, and the way you get it is sinful.
You get beat down to sin.
Yeah, you got the biggest hurricane to hit this place ever.
Straight on me.
You got the biggest amount of water that ever flooded a state ever. Everything is bigger in Texas.
Even the destructions.
You got a bigger homosexual demon, so the Most High had to come with a big ass hurricane to wipe it out. Right? Y'all were, right? Most High had to. Y'all.
Swag it in the water.
Yeah.
And have not asked advice.
Deal. You want to? I said, America. Let's see how America takes care of that ass. Let's see. Well, to another shelter. FEMA. FEMA does not. What was that? Your escape plan? I would have left. You over here tricking for FEMA. You over here twerking, doing something strange for the piece of change for FEMA. FEMA gonna come up short.
In this
strengthen yourself with this country and
heaven saying, come out of her, my people.
No, stay with America.
Come out of her, my people.
No, FEMA deliver the food.
Come out of her, my people.
Go ahead.
That ye be
out of this world. You got to get out of the mind state, and you got to get out of the actions. You got to stop following what the heathens do. Don't be dismayed at what they do. Don't look at their goings. You look at the goings of the Most High. You look at the goings of your elders. So don't. It says, "Be not people." Read.
That ye
for this world. He doesn't want you to be.
So I said, what? Stop smoking the weed. You know, whoremongers. Stop thinking it's all about.
Thinking everything's hunky dory. We got hellfire and brimstone. Everybody, you got niggas walking around the mall thinking about what Jordans to wear, or what Jordans they're gonna wear with whatever outfit, or where they're gonna stick their little feet. Start World War III. You see those 4 winds. That was just the tip of the iceberg. That wasn't even hardcore, and that was a disastrous moment. That wasn't even one of the 4 winds.
That wasn't even a blow out a candle. That wasn't, bruh. And we know that because.
Listen, the wicked, they when you read the scriptures, it says the wicked that they're going to go to the mountains and ask.
Just the way the Most High sees our communication, our diligence, our fight, our obedience. is the same way he sees that wickedness. The same way he sees that homosexuality. The same way he sees the drug abuse.
Woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord.
Go to verse 2.
Verse 2, that walk to go down into Egypt.
Go ahead.
And have not asked at my mouth, so to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh.
Go ahead.
And to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Go ahead.
Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame.
It's going to be your what?
Your shame.
Yeah, the strength of America, or what you think is strength, is going to be your shame. When you still homeless as hell, when you still ain't got no place to go 6 months from now, when FEMA run out, what you going to do? You didn't want to rely on the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High. You wanted to rely on FEMA. You want to rely on your granddaddy, your grandmammy. What happens when she get tired of your ass and kick you out for freeloading? What happens when all these things happen? That's going to be your shame. The thing you put strength in, or that you thought was strength, that's going to be your shame. You're going to be like, damn, FEMA didn't even help me. You're going to be worse off than before. Read on.
God, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion.
Yeah, you're going to be walking around in Texas confused as hell. When that water resides, is that the word resides? Resides? Recedes. When that water recedes and goes back and dries out, and you still left homeless and desolate and poor, you're going to be confused. Like, I thought America was supposed to help. You're going to see a bunch more cats on the corner begging and crying like America didn't help us. But you put your trust in America. You put your trust in Pharaoh. But see, that's why the verse 30:1 starts out with, woe, destruction. It's going to be a destruction. You don't want to communicate. You don't want to come around the real strength. You don't want to deal with the wisdom. You said what?
No, that's another one.
Okay, what you got? Go.
Yeah, Isaiah chapter 5, verse 21.
You don't want to deal with the wisdom, understanding, and the way it's supposed to come?
Verse 21.
And this is just to the
their own eyes.
Yeah, why giving you grace, giving you brothers over you to you.
Got anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Give me Ecclesiastes chapter 16 and verse 7. And this is just to recap. Once again, the Bible is a book of history. We have to go through it and understand what's going on for us to learn. For what the Most High is pleased with and what He's displeased with. Read this just to get a couple.
The past that the Bible ain't no damn comic book. It ain't not some bedtime novel.
Right.
You're supposed to be looking at these things and saying, they love to repeat. Their feet are quick. But it's easier to do the right.
Being righteous.
So, we that. Listen. First of all, when ain't nothing new. You ain't innovating. You ain't inventing a new way to just.
It means a state of peace, to be at peace. He wasn't at peace by killing the giants in Noah's time. Read on now. The Most High was not pleased. He killed them.
Listen, he didn't just kill them. He destroyed the city.
Yeah.
He let it rain fire from the sky.
Yeah.
Okay? Y'all gotta go read that again.
Salt is the true monument.
Fire from the skies to destroy a city. I don't plan on being here when that happens. I don't want to be here. Because there's nothing you can do against that. Think about that. Fire and brimstone from the ceiling.
Rainy.
All you gotta do is hit you and kill you so you get out of this breath.
Oh.
Keep going.
Read.
But abhor them for their pride.
Read.
He pity not salvation taken away in their sin.
Now is where the times where you're supposed to say, look, I'm messing up, let me get right. Go ahead.
Turn down to verse 12.
Verse 12. As his mercy is great, so is his correction also.
Yeah, so the Most High gives us chance. That second precept is
he judges with his spoil.
Houses flooded. On the top of the house, having to get saved by helicopters. And they ain't been working.
The godly shall
understand what's going on right now. We understand is killing his enemies. And Pharaoh, if we remember the story about Pharaoh, Pharaoh was given a chance to let go of the children of Israel. But what did he do? Read.
That the Lord hardened Pharaoh that he should not know him.
Yeah, he hardened his heart. He was prideful. Just like our people are. They're disobedient. They're extremely prideful. Read.
That his powerful works might be known.
Like how he smashed it so y'all can understand. Ain't it? Sorry.
God.
Some man had made that hurt man to make.
If there be a trumpet, grab that scripture called, okay, well, Esau built a machine for well, this was Esau behind the working, not the Most High.
They use chemtrails and they use like combustion.
In the, I'm gonna get that out. That's you're trying to.
His glory. Take away his value. It says when we just read, it said he's just in his punishment, and his ass whooping was just. Okay?
Right.
It was a just ass whooping that he sent on the coast.
Right.
For all the wickedness, for Mardi Gras, that cats do through Houston.
All your abortions.
Your 420, all your abortions, your holidays that you celebrate.
Gay parade.
Your gay day parade that you have down here. The crap you do in Galveston. I think he's destroying these places. Because that's where most of that wickedness happens.
Right.
Where y'all going to Galveston for what? Oh, they got the gay parade. They have it in Galveston. No, it's in Houston.
It is in the city of Houston.
Good.
They got the Mardi Gras. They got the Mardi Gras in Galveston.
Which is gay too. There's nothing but gayness that happens. You flashing your titties for beads.
For some beads.
You got dudes flashing their titties for beads. Come on, man. Go ahead, finish up.
Go ahead, read that.
Amos chapter 3, verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in a city, and the people not be afraid?
Go ahead.
Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord hath not done it?
Read that again.
Shall a trumpet be blown?
No, the second precept.
And the Lord hath not done it?
No.
Shall there be evil in the city?
Read it again.
Shall there be evil in the city?
So is there going to be a hurricane in Houston? Go ahead.
And the Lord hath not done it?
No, the Esau not done it?
And the Lord hath not done it?
No, North Korea had not done it?
And the Lord hath not.
Don't, how dare you? How he hardened Pharaoh's heart. He did that to display to Israel the power that he's capable of doing. That was the display. That was to show Israel the Most High's power. That was to show Israel that you need to lean onto the Most High. As his wrath is, so is his mercy. As his righteousness is, so is his mercy. You gotta wake the hell up and see that the Most High is not playing. Yes, sir.
Can I add one for the waking the hell up?
Sir, yes, sir.
Job chapter 2, verse 1.
Oh, I had go ahead.
Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand.
Go ahead, break it down.
Well, shoot, just like you guys are talking about, how we even go out in the streets, week after week, day after day, passing out flyers, doing street speaking. cable show, classes, trying to wake people the hell up. Look, the alarm has been sounding for years. When are you going to take heed? Like, when is it going to make sense to people? Like, how many times does disaster have to happen to you? How many killings? How many shootings? How many brothers got to come to you? How many people got to sit with you one-on-one and talk about these things to help you understand, to wake up?
How many mental breakdowns do you have to have?
How many mental breakdowns you got to have? Exactly.
How much hurt do you have to go through?
Exactly.
Come on, you still your body's decaying on a daily from the poison that you intaking, and you still got the nerve to be prideful? You need to wake the hell up.
Or you gonna be a ransom.
Ransom for the righteous.
Listen, we're going to end it on that. But I got 3 questions I need to answer real quick that was texted me. So, y'all got any questions on that? Tom, any questions online about it? Pardon us, we got like some flying ants. See, the desolation from the water, all the pestilence, is seeping. It's seeping in, man. That water is going to bring all types of bugs and mosquitoes and AIDS mosquitoes and all that. Any questions online about the class? All right, so one of the questions is, somebody give me 2 Peter 1:20. 2 Peter 1:20. Can you answer the question of can the Bible be interpreted in different ways? Simple. Go to 1 Peter 1:20.
2 Peter chapter 1 verse 20.
Go ahead.
Knowing this first, that no...
So you got to know this first thing before you know anything. Read.
That no prophecy...
So no prophecy, which the prophecies start from Genesis all the way to Revelation. Right? Go ahead.
That no prophecy of this scripture is of any private interpretation.
Yeah, there's no private interpretation of the Bible. See, the reason why people don't understand the Bible is because they don't want to understand the Bible. That's one. They don't give themselves a chance to learn. You don't just read and understand. You got to live it. So if you ain't trying to live this, you ain't going to get it. But even when you read, there's a certain way you read. Give me Isaiah. So we know there's no private interpretation of the scripture. Read verse 21. And somebody else give you Isaiah.
Verse 21.
Go ahead.
For the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man.
Yeah, see, this didn't come by the will of men. This is what we got to understand. This wasn't compiled and written by, like some random man just said, look, let me just write these wise sayings. If that was the case, how come we're not wise now? Where are these wise sayings coming out of men's mouths without the Bible? Show me a man that had the smarts to write Proverbs with his own brain and not in the spirit of the Most High. See, it didn't come by the will of man. Read.
But holy men.
Yeah, holy men. Men that were set apart. Not worldly niggas in the street. Not grandma, not grandpa. Not Shakespeare, not some philosopher, not King James. But holy men. Read.
But holy men of God.
Of who?
Of God.
Of themselves?
Of God.
Of Buddha?
Of God.
Holy men of God. Go ahead.
Spake as they were moved by the Holy Ghost.
Right. They had the spirit of them. They had the spirit on them when everything was transcribed and written and compiled. Go to Isaiah real quick.
Isaiah chapter 28 verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge?
Whom what?
Whom shall he teach knowledge?
You have a question?
So what was that scripture we were just reading?
1 Peter 1:20. 2 Peter 1:20.
And then one after that was Isaiah?
Over here now. Isaiah what?
28 verse 9.
So when you do start reading, this is how the Bible is going to interpret itself. Because there is no private interpretation. Like, it's basically saying, if you read a scripture, yes, if you read a scripture and I read something, to the unlearned, to the unwise, to the untrained, you're going to read it and think it means one thing because you don't have the understanding. But to a person that knows how to read the Bible and break down scriptures and break down precepts, they're going to have the real understanding. So there is no private interpretation once it's broken down to a person. Like, do we all know in here that Christ is black?
God.
Okay, is that a private thing?
La.
Only to the unlearned, right?
God.
Or only to the person that don't want to see it.
God.
Right. So where you at? Isaiah what?
Isaiah chapter 28, verse 9.
Isaiah 28 and verse 9. Go ahead.
Whom shall he teach knowledge?
So this is a question. Who is going to learn the knowledge of the Bible? Go ahead.
And whom shall he make to understand doctrine?
Yeah, who's going to understand? It's a question. Who's going to learn knowledge and who is going to understand? How are you going to understand? Read.
Them that are weaned from the milk.
You have to be what?
Weaned from the milk.
Yeah, you got to get the basics. The basics of, color of Christ. Who Christ came for. There's so many basics. Baptism. John 3:16. There's so many there's breakdowns to these scriptures that a person that is not weaned from the milk, that's not getting the basics, they're not going to understand. Go ahead.
And drawn from the press.
Go ahead.
For precept must be upon precept.
Yeah, because precept must be upon precept. Go ahead.
Precept upon precept.
Go ahead.
Line upon line.
Go ahead.
Line upon line.
Go ahead.
Here a little and there a little.
Right. So you got to understand how to even read the Bible. Go to Hebrews 5 and 13.
Hebrews chapter 5 verse 13.
So you got to understand that to even unlock the mystery or to get the interpretation, you don't just read it like a novel. You don't just start at Genesis and end at Revelation. You got to go here a little, there a little. Precept upon precept. Abiyar, give me Psalms 119 and 104. This is why we have to go precept upon precept. Read that. Psalms chapter 119 and verse 104.
Psalms chapter 119 and verse 104.
Go ahead.
Through thy precepts.
So this was David speaking. David is the author of Psalms. He said, through thy precepts, read.
I get understanding.
You see that? So through the precepts, this is how you get the understanding of the Bible. So there's no longer a private interpretation. Well, everybody interprets the Bible a different way. Not if you go precept upon precept. Here a little, there a little. Go to Hebrews 5 and 13.
Hebrews chapter 5 verse 13.
Go ahead.
For everyone that uses milk is unskillful.
Yeah, using milk. The milks is the basic. When it's talking about using milk, it's talking about the basics. See, even in this, there could be a private interpretation, and everyone that uses milk is unskillful. What does that mean? But if you don't understand how the Bible talks and what it's talking about, you would think it's talking about what? Actual milk.
Cooking with milk.
Yeah. Everybody that uses milk in their dishes is unskillful. No. The milk is it's showing you that milk is a basic necessity for a child. That's how a child grows. You feed them milk first, and then you give them solid food. So that's how the Bible is. There's milk in the Bible, which is the basics. Then there's meat, which is the deep revelations that you got to break down. Genesis chapter 1. That's basic as hell to me. To these brothers, that's basic to us in here, but to the unlearned person, Genesis chapter 1 is meat. Because if you ask a person, what tree did she eat from? Or what tree ever gives knowledge?
Oh, Genesis.
Yeah, Genesis. What tree ever gave a man knowledge? What fruit was it? Everybody says an apple, right? They don't say that in the Bible.
They never said that.
Never said.
It was that pill that they had in Limitless.
Yeah, right. But see, to the unlearned, to the person that's not skillful, that's not being weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast, they're not going to understand Genesis.
They'll think it was an actual snake.
Yeah, you don't understand that Genesis is written symbolically. See, the Bible's written three ways: symbolic, historic, and you just threw me off. No, it's prophetic, symbolic. Yeah. Anyway, read on. Hebrews 5.
Come. For everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness.
So if you're in the basics, you're unskilled in the word of righteousness because you're a babe. Read on.
For he is a baby.
Because he's a what?
A baby.
Read.
But strong meat belonging to them that are of full age.
Yeah, so once you mature spiritually, you get that strong meat. You get that revelation. You get that Genesis, Daniel chapter 7. Revelations chapter 3 all the way up to 24, right? That's strong meat. But you got to understand the basis of the Bible first. You got to understand who it's written for, who it's written by, who it's written for, how it applies to you. You got to understand these things. Go ahead.
Even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil.
Yeah, you gotta have your senses exercised to discern good and evil. You gotta have your senses exercised to discern the hell the Bible's even talking about. Why is it important? So, no, there is no private interpretation. There is a method that the Most High laid down to be able to get the correct interpretation of the Bible. We do it through precepts. Precepts upon precepts. I'm going to give you a perfect example. Real quick. Go to Revelation chapter 1, verse 14. This is for somebody that's online watching. So I know a lot of y'all in class already know this. I'm going through this for somebody online. This is something real basic to show you how a precept would work. But we actually just showed you, because when you go back to Isaiah 28 and 9, it says precept upon precept, line upon line. A precept to that is the Psalms 104 and verse 15, where David said, through thy precepts I get understanding. 104, 109 and 14. Huh? 119 and
verse 104.
And 104, excuse me. Let's go to Revelations real quick, chapter 1. Jump to verse 14.
Revelations chapter 1, verse 14.
So this is dealing with the color of Christ. Okay, everybody says that Christ didn't have a color. He was just a rainbow. He was a white man. Christ was olive. He was olive colored, but there's two different olive colors. Which one was he? The green one?
With the red.
Because you got three olive colors actually. Mm-hmm. You got green, brown, and black.
Oh, this is black.
His was dark. All right, he was the black olive, but they try to say he was the green olive. Like, what is he, a damn alien? Right. Go to verse 14.
Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So this is talking about Christ. It said his head and his hairs were white like wool. It's giving you color and texture of his hair and his facial hair. Go ahead.
As white as snow.
Yeah, that's the color and that's the texture. It's white as wool, white woolly hair. That's texture. The color is as white as snow. So he had a gray fro, gray beard. Read on.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Okay, so his eyes were as a flame of fire. So to the person that doesn't understand and reads this, they're like, damn, Christ was shooting flames out of his eyes.
He's the real Superman.
Yeah, he's shooting fire. But guess what? The way we understand what this was talking about is we go to a precept. Genesis 49 and 12.
Genesis.
Just to show you, just to get the understanding of one scripture in Revelation, we have to jump all the way back to Genesis. Actually, give me Hebrews 13 and 7 real quick. 7 and 14. Why did I say that? Hebrews 7 and 14. Wow. Think about something else. Hebrews, 7 and 14.
Hebrews chapter 7 and verse 14.
Go ahead.
For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah.
Right. So this scripture right here is telling you that it is evident, it is factual that our Lord, speaking of Christ, sprang out of Judah. That's one of the 12 tribes of Israel. It's the head tribe, Judah. Okay? It's the head tribe. So it's showing you that Christ came out of Judah, the head tribe out of the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Making him a Hebrew. Read on.
Of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood.
Right, because the priests came out of the Levites. But I pulled that to show that Christ had a nationality from the tribe of Judah, an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, a Hebrew. So I pulled that to go to Revelations 49 and 12 to show you one of the prophecies of the tribe of Judah, which Christ came out of. Read.
Genesis chapter 49 and verse 12.
Right?
His eyes shall be red with wine.
So this is a prophecy of the tribe of Judah. It said his eyes shall be red with wine. So we know that Christ drank. That's why it says his eyes were of a flame of fire. And not only because he drank. I mean, let's face it, Christ drank, but he had the sorrows of a nation on his back. So my eyes would be red as hell too. I'd be tired. I'd drink a little bit too to try to ease my mind.
It's all Christ's blood into the water.
Right. But we know that I was just pointing out his eyes weren't only red because he drank.
All right.
Yeah, it was because of the indignation that he was dealing with. Come on, the man knew he was going to die.
Disobedient Israelites, you trying to teach?
Right. Ungrateful. Just like when we went over. He was dealing with all that.
And they was trying to kill him.
So, think about this. When you know you're about to die, you know the way, the time, the date.
Right.
Your eyes be red too.
Listen, he had to wash Judas Iscariot's feet. Now, my microphone ain't even going. But he had to wash Judas Iscariot's feet, and he already know you disloyal, backstabbing nigga.
Right.
And he still had to do it with a smile and wholeheartedness of the Most High.
Right.
As if it was to the Most High.
Right. But yeah, but the point is, to show why Christ's eyes were red is because it said his eyes shall be red with wine, teeth white with milk. So that was a prophecy. But as you see, we have to jump from Revelations to Hebrews to Genesis to understand what was going on in Revelations. So there is no private interpretation when you read the Bible correctly. Hopefully you got that. Next question is, somebody give me Obadiah 1 and 10. Somebody give me Romans 9:14. Huh? Where? Okay, get that and leave. You go. Okay, yeah, we'll be out before that. Romans 9:13, give me Obadiah 1 and 10. It says, why doesn't the Most High love everyone? Well, the Most High said, go to Romans 9:13. And then get Obadiah. Okay. Who got Romans?
All right.
Romans chapter 9 and verse 13. That's it?
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Romans chapter 9 and verse 13.
Read up.
Romans chapter 9 and verse, start at 11.
Go ahead.
Verse 12.
Go ahead.
11?
Yeah.
Romans chapter 9 and verse 11. For the children being not yet born.
Go ahead.
Neither having done any good or evil.
So this is talking about Esau and Jacob. Okay, you can read about them in Genesis, the 25th chapter and the 25th verse down. They're two twin brothers. Okay, us being Jacob, the so-called Israelites, or the Israelites, the so-called black man down to the so-called Hispanic, Mexican. We are the Israelites from the 12 tribes of Israel. Jacob being our father, the forefather of Israel. Esau being the forefather of the Edomite nations, the Europeans, so-called white people. Okay? Go ahead.
That the purpose of the Most High, or according to the election, might stand.
Go ahead.
Not of works,
go ahead,
but of him that calleth.
Right. So we're going to see what the Most High is talking about. Keep going.
It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger.
Right. When you read in Genesis 25 and 25 down, the elder Esau came out first. But the prophecy is that the elder is going to serve the younger. So we know that hasn't happened yet. That's going to happen in the kingdom. Go ahead.
Verse 13. As it is written.
Go ahead.
Jacob have I loved.
Right. So the Most High said, you love Jacob. You love Israel. Go ahead.
But Esau have I hated.
Well, he said he hated Esau. Go ahead.
Verse 14. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High?
Go to Obadiah chapter 1 verse 10.
Obadiah chapter 1 verse 10.
Go ahead.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
Yeah, the Most High said he hated Jacob because of the violence. Or he hated Esau, excuse me, because of the violence against us. Because Esau is the one that put us in slavery. They're the ones that got us oppressed now. All right? When you read Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and you read all the curses, right, you'll see that Esau got us under a lot of these curses. Where they got us killing one another, they put us in slavery via slave ship. They got us in the communities that we in the hood, the barrios, the favelas, all that. Right. It's them that are doing it. The Edomite nation. So he said because of the violence. Because, yes, they were supposed to put us in slavery, but not to the extent.
They went too far.
They went too far. They started ripping babies out of wombs, cutting off women's breasts, cutting off men's testicles.
Selling boys for
selling boys. Yeah. All these things that they did during slavery that were just unjust. That's what the Most High was talking about. That's why he hated them. Go ahead.
You know that?
Go
ahead.
And thou shalt be cut off forever.
Okay, we'll go to Psalms chapter 5, verse 5.
we going kind of quick, but we like 30 minutes over.
Psalm chapter 5, verse 5.
Go ahead.
The foolish shall not stand in thy sight.
The Most High, he's not gonna have any type of person just standing before him, or around him, or in his company, or in his kingdom, or in the kingdom to come. You understand? Go ahead.
Thou hatest all the workers of iniquity.
How does he feel?
Thou hatest all the workers of iniquity.
Some of them?
All of the workers of iniquity.
Anybody who's a lawbreaker, anybody who breaks the law, whether it be sleeping, a woman sleeping with another woman, whether you're eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, whether you're committing genocide, smoking weed and selling drugs to your people, or whether you're committing necrophilia, pedophilia, any kind of philias, right? All of it. Whatever you're doing that's iniquity, that breaks the law, the Most High, he hates it. Go ahead.
Thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing.
That's it on that.
So listen, I'm gonna hit you up with the other question. I just texted you. But is there any other questions? Any other questions online? Let me just check real quick. You good?
No, there it is.
All right, well listen, there's no questions online. Any questions in here? I know we kind of went over. All right, with that, we definitely appreciate y'all joining us. Listen, if y'all got any alms, anything that y'all want to donate, remember, we got the Google Wallet at isbhbk@gmail.com. We got the Wells Fargo account under Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. The account number is 101-580-6167. 6067. Right?
6167.
6167, okay. Yeah, 101-580-6167. If anybody got any alms in here that y'all want to give online, listen, we need it. You already know the situation that's going on out here in Houston. We definitely gonna need it, man, because we got people to help.
It's being real because it is real.
It's real. So whatever y'all can give, please feel free to give. All right. If there's no other questions, we're gonna end it right there, and we're gonna say shalom.
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 Being real.